Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. We'll be live on the air in just a couple minutes. We got a lot to cover today. Oh man, do we ever. 1, 2, test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. Getting the other stream ready to go. All right. Welcome, everyone. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. I'm going to start with the Liz Cheney story, because that's huge. But I got a lot of other things we're going to cover too. That's just the beginning.
Traffic check, brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club. We're turning off of the crash on I-95 dispatch over 25 roads. On I-95 northbound past Belvedere Road, right lane is blocked for crash in Palm Beach. And on the turnpike, there's a red line.
Well, good morning to Las Vegas. Oh yeah, what time? 8:30?
8:30.
Order what you need by 2 p.m. so get it delivered same day. Valid on eligible in-stock orders and select segments for same-day delivery, subject to driver availability.
We'll definitely try at least the first 3. Yeah, it has to be at least the first 3.
Yeah, we really need stickers on those with the numbers.
Well, Mike, when I was telling Mike what happened the last week, he was saying that I think we had it in the wrong pot, even though it was just very weird. Because at first he thought the wire was loose or whatever.
Yeah.
But the wire was fine. It was so strange. So we'll just try that. I'm going to try it at the 7:30 break just to double check.
Mm-hmm.
It should be good.
I also do tire repairs at very low prices. Give me a call. My number is 954-977-9445. I will give you a price over the phone on new and used tires. Again, my number is 954-977.
Welcome to the stream, everyone. My name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. We will be live on the air in just a couple of moments, and we got a lot to cover. A lot to cover. Things are going like so perfectly this second Trump term that we're really in already, and it's just good news, huge news every day. And to have so much news just a few days before Christmas is insane. It really is insane. I mean, it's usually the news are off this week, but there's just tons of news. And I imagine even Christmas is going to be a pretty news-filled period, too. Stand by. Here we go. All right.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All righty. Welcome, one and all. My name is Brian Craig. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show on the radio since 1977, just a few days away from Christmas, and massive news has dropped since we last spoke. I mean, there's just nonstop major news because Trump is not wasting any time. And I'm going to start with what happened with Liz Cheney yesterday. Liz Cheney, she's too stupid, arrogant, and spoiled to know she's in trouble. But Liz Cheney has been referred for criminal investigation by Congress for witness tampering with Cassidy Hutchinson. I want to break this story down and we're going to go through it. But Liz Cheney doesn't understand how much trouble she's in. See, her dad's a war criminal. He lied about weapons of mass destruction, and millions of people's lives around the world have been destroyed. I don't know how many people were killed because of her father's lies. So her father, who has a space in hell waiting for him, has done so much evil. She's a sociopath. Liz Cheney. She said, she looks around, the Constitution, law, Constitution. When people are talking about the Constitution so much, they're usually tearing it apart, ripping it up, or burning it, or just in general violating it. And that's what she's been doing. But she's too stupid, she's too arrogant, she's too spoiled to understand any of this. But Liz Cheney is in a lot of trouble. Now, before I break this story down, I know a lot of people, we got the usual suspects. Nothing's going to happen. Nothing. Everybody goes to... Kash Patel's about to become the director of the FBI. Okay? Pam Bondi is about to become the Attorney General of the United States. And Donald Trump is president again. There's a whole new set of rules in place. If you're in Washington and you misuse your office, you're going to go to jail, okay? You think Kash Patel, oh, wow, no one's going to go. These disruptors that President Trump is bringing in, like Kash Patel and Pam Bondi and Pete Hegseth and all the rest, are coming in to change the status quo. Now, when there's Cassidy Hutchinson, she's that liar who said that President Trump tried to take over control of the car from the Secret Service and was throwing hamburgers on the walls at the White House and all of this. And now what we are finding with documented evidence, including text messages, is that Liz Cheney suborned perjury and actually crafted the testimony that Cassidy Hutchins gave without her attorney present. These are hardcore felonies. Also, destroying evidence, the congressional record, the historical records of these investigations and events. This is really amazing. Yeah, I'll tell you though, she's really weird. She looks just like her dad. She talks like her dad. She even has her dad's mannerisms. This is in the Gateway Pundit. The Committee on House Administration's Subcommittee on Oversight Chairman Barry Loudermilk released a second report on the events surrounding January 6th, as well as his investigation into the weaponized J6 committee. This dropped yesterday. Oh yeah, somebody in our chat says, she's just going to get pardoned. That's fine. Well, I wouldn't count on that. That means she could testify against everybody else. Can't pardon everybody. They'll forget some people and don't. And why do people think that Joe Biden wants to help these people? Why would Joe Biden help Liz Cheney? These people were responsible for a coup that took his nomination away from him. Joe Biden thinks that he'd still be president if it were not for these people. So he's just going to be pardoning all these people. Why would he pardon the people that took his nomination away from him and ousted him from power? He views these people as coup conspirators. Biden's not in the mood to help these people. Stop thinking like losers. The Republican establishment is gone. Loudermilk's report outlines criminal recommendations against J6 committee co-chair Liz Cheney for witness tampering based on her communication with J6 star witness Cassidy Hutchinson. This is amazing. Here's the highlights of the report. Liz Cheney colluded with Cassidy Hutchinson without Hutchinson's attorney's knowledge. The committee is recommending she be investigated for criminal witness tampering based on new information about her communications, which they have in text messages. Hutchinson's most outrageous claims that President Trump attacked Secret Service, and it goes on and on and on and on and on with these things. But she was in a long-term coordinated private communication, Liz Cheney, with Cassidy Hutchinson without her attorneys or anyone else present, which in itself is against the law, but to craft her testimony. And then she went on and destroyed the evidence. And don't sit around just going to get pardoned. See, this is why Republicans, we used to be losers all the time, because we have all these people in our party that, oh, nothing's going to happen, nothing's going to happen. Things will happen. This is not the old Washington. You can see it already. Look what's happening with Fani Willis in Fulton County. Her gigolo boyfriend is already spilling his guts that he and Fani Willis's office coordinated with the White House prior to bringing charges against Donald Trump and those others on that RICO case. That's illegal. Did you see all these things are being exposed? The people that President Trump is bringing in are people from the outside. You know, Liz Cheney, you know, she's not just a typical Republican who takes donations from the military-industrial complex. She is the military-industrial complex, remember? Her corrupt, war criminal, evil father sat on the board of directors, ran that whole company. They are the military-industrial complex. These are some real evildoers. I'm going to get into, as the show goes on, more details about what she did. But don't let these guys off the hook. Well, he's just going to pardon him. Nothing happens. No one goes to jail. We don't need losers around. If you want to be a loser, go join the Democrat Party, okay? That's where the losers go. You know, President Trump, you know, he is very serious about draining the swamp. And there's so many records of all of these things because Liz Cheney is so stupid. She put everything in writing in text messages like an idiot because she thought Trump would either be in prison or disgraced and somebody else would be president. They're so stupid, so arrogant, so confident in their lawfare that they thought he was going to be locked up right now or in disgrace at Mar-a-Lago. It never occurred to them that he'd be back in the White House. So there's a trail everywhere documenting their crimes. Also, I don't want to hear anybody say, we already know this. Are you people on drugs? How many times have I... There's a difference between knowing and having evidence proving criminal activity. You've got to have evidence. So we'll take our first break. I do want to hear your thoughts on this. I will go through the story that is incredibly detailed about Liz Cheney's crimes. And I got a lot of other news stories that we're going to get into as the show goes on. All right, so we got a very busy day. Our number is toll-free, 1-888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. There is still time to order from MyPillow and have your products delivered before Christmas. And remember, you can have the MyPillow products delivered to you or directly to the recipient. But there is still time to order and have everything delivered in time for Christmas. Huge savings with our promo code KANE at checkout, K-A-N-E, site-wide. You can use our promo code KANE on all the specials at MyPillow.com. Also, remember, free shipping on orders over $75. That's promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at checkout at MyPillow.com. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879, 1-800-716-4879. Promo code KANE, K-A-N-E. We'll be right back. Boy, oh boy.
Call the Steve Kane Show live on air now. 888-GO-KANE-1. This is the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Now, guys, this shirt that I'm wearing is actually available in my store. My wife designs all these things. CoolMagaMerch.com. CoolMagaMerch.com. We have a whole bunch of new designs. So check it out. CoolMagaMerch.com. And you can get this shirt, short sleeve, long sleeve. But there's a lot of other products there too. So go check it out. CoolMagaMerch.com. All right, check it out. Okay, so where are we? Okay. I'll get through the details of this when we get back. Don't be so sure. Why would Biden pardon all these people that screwed him over? Oh, yeah. That makes no sense. What is in it for Biden? Remember, we know for a fact that the Bidens voted for Trump.
We'll start here. What?
They like him.
I'd say.
The Bidens like Trump. I don't know why these people think he's with them. He's not with these people. Makes no sense. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. Can't believe it's Wednesday already. A week before Christmas. Can't believe it. Pardons are for federal crimes. Governors can pardon local, but
Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, hear us in Boca on 95.3 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM, and anywhere in the world at True.
all right, we're back. 18 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian Steve Kane Show. Okay, so get back to this Liz Cheney. Liz Cheney's in big trouble. She very well could go to prison. She could. She might go to prison. And I know, I hear all kinds of things. I don't know who's on the air in different places saying some of these stupid things I hear. I heard someone say, well, people can be unpardoned. Really? Where have you ever heard of such a thing? There's no such thing as an unpardoned. Once you're pardoned, you're pardoned. The next president cannot unpardon people. But this idea that Biden's going to pardon Liz Cheney. The Bidens love Trump, okay? Joe and Jill voted for President Trump. We know this. Remember Liz wore the red pantsuit on, when she went to vote and she was all friendly with Trump at Notre Dame a couple weeks ago? These Washington insiders launched a coup. Against him. Let me get back to this. This is in the Gateway Pundit. Loudermilk, he's the chair of the committee, obtained J6 star witnesses Cassidy Hutchinson's signal messages which revealed she was directly communicating with Liz Cheney in 2022. Cheney was communicating with Hutchinson without Hutchinson's attorney's knowledge. In the months prior to Hutchinson's explosive private and public testimony, Liz Cheney communicated with Hutchinson both directly and through an intermediary, Alyssa Farah Griffin. This is this traitorous fake Republican that's part of the coven known as The View with Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, and these other monsters. While Hutchinson was represented by her attorney, Stefan Passantino. Do you know Passantino, Mike? No, I don't know. I don't, Italian, I don't know. The select committee conducted 6 transcribed interviews of Hutchinson in total. Passantino represented Hutchinson for the first 3 interviews. The oversight committee said, oh boy. Hutchinson reached out to Farah Griffin. That's the girl from The View. Following Hutchinson's second transcribed interview, Farah Griffin and Hutchinson knew each other from their time working together in the White House. The View hostess, Farah Griffin, was one of the first former Trump administration officials to publicly criticize Trump in January 21 and was publicly working with the Select Committee on its investigation, the Republican committee said. When Hutchinson reached out to Farah Griffin, she invited Hutchinson over to her Georgetown townhome to talk on April 26, 22. That evening, Hutchinson told Farah Griffin she had more information she could provide to the Liz Cheney fake committee. According to statements by both Hutchinson and Farah Griffin. Oh, this is great. The View's in big trouble, man. Right? They're in so much trouble over there. They're up to their eyeballs. During their conversation, Farah Griffin agreed to contact Liz Cheney on Hutchinson's behalf about scheduling another interview. Hutchinson's new testimony would include her never-before-heard story that alleged that President Trump agreed with rioters saying something that I am not going to say on the radio because it's inappropriate to say. According to the text messages, which they have Liz's text messages, Hutchinson's text messages, Farah Griffin from The View and all this, her text messages. According to text messages that appear to be from the encrypted messaging app Signal, why are they using encrypted apps? You know why? Because they're doing crime. That's why. Between Hutchinson and Farah Griffin, obtained by the subcommittee, Liz Cheney agreed to communicate with Hutchinson through Farah Griffin from The View. It appears Cheney knew communicating with Hutchinson while she was represented by an attorney and a subject of the Select Committee's investigation without going through the attorney is unethical. This is evident by Farah Griffin from The View's text to Hutchinson that Cheney's one concern was going as long as you have counsel, she can't really ethically talk to you without him, but she did it anyway. After the third transcribed interview, Hutchinson reached out to Liz Cheney directly. While Hutchinson revealed the general timing of these communications in her book, the extent and content of their communication was never previously disclosed, the committee said. When Hutchinson texted Cheney, she was still represented by Passantino, her lawyer, which Cheney knew. Cheney and Hutchinson communicated directly for days without the attorney's knowledge. Cheney provided Hutchinson with new attorneys, Alston and Bird pro bono, they said. So she's illegally communicating, Liz Cheney, with Hutchinson, and then she's setting her up with some lawyers. They're going to work for her for free, friends of hers. What a kangaroo committee this was. Liz Cheney coached Cassidy Hutchinson, which is suborning perjury. So what we saw on television was a scripted play written and produced by Liz Cheney. And this is beautiful stuff. A bar complaint was filed against Liz Cheney over this. This is big time, bigly problems for Liz Cheney. But as I said, she's very arrogant. Now, she's responded. Liz Cheney lashed out at Congressman Loudermilk yesterday after he referred her for criminal investigation. So she's so stupid. She's so arrogant. She's so spoiled. She's such a blowhard. She's a pathologically, criminally insane lunatic, Liz Cheney. She's going after them. Oh, this is beautiful. President, the records alone that she destroyed is enough to put her in prison. But now that we're getting this information about her crafting the testimony and setting her up with these attorneys pro bono, there's a vast conspiracy going on here. And it's all going to be exposed by Kash Patel and Pam Bondi. And even if Biden gives her a pardon, which is probably unlikely, that doesn't mean that she can refuse to talk to Congress, to the Attorney General, or the FBI. And by the way, pardons are only for past crimes, not future crimes. So if she's questioned and she lies, boom, prison. It does not get better than this. Not only will the swamp be drained, President Trump is going to be completely cleared, even in the minds of the people who hate him, the few of those that are still left. What a great day. We're going to take our break for the bottom of the hour. My name is Brian Craig. This is Florida's longest running radio show, the Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. Our number is toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. I've got a lot more to cover today, so I'm going to be going through stories maybe a little faster than I do on a lot of days because so much has happened, but you're welcome to call in about anything I bring up today. 1-888-465-2631. My name is Brian, Steve Kane Show. We'll be right back. Oh, great stuff, guys. Great stuff. Oh, the lawfare is collapsing. Just totally collapsing on these people. Now, if you're new, make sure you subscribe, guys. Oh, we've only just begun. The toll-free number is pinned in the chat if you'd like to call in. I mean, if we didn't have Pam Bondi and Kash Patel and the same normal people were running things, you'd be right. Nothing would happen. But that's not the case. All right? We have Kash Patel and Pam Bondi coming in. It's a whole new deal. It's a whole new deal. Trump cannot void Biden's pardons. No. Whoever said that, whoever you heard that from, you can pardon for any federal crime. Presidents can pardon for any federal crime, no matter what it is. Yes, they can. That's the way it is. Oh. But Liz Cheney's not worried because she's, look what her dad got away with, right? If your dad got away with getting hundreds of thousands of people killed and maimed and war crimes at the level he committed, why would you think you'd get in trouble for this, right? Total sociopath, total sicko. This is beautiful. I'm so excited. Oh, man. I am so excited. You should be too. Indeed. Good morning to everyone. Welcome. Mm-hmm. Hope you guys get a chance to check out the vlog that I uploaded this morning. We'll be back shortly, guys. Oh, does not get better than this. We're on top of the world. Everything is going so well. Also, one of the biggest mistakes Biden made is really coming back to haunt the Democrats. I'm going to get to that in just a bit. What do you guys think I'm talking about? One of the biggest mistakes Biden made is coming back to haunt the Democrats right now. What do you think that is? One of the biggest mistakes. What do you think I'm referring to? Hunter? Someone said Hunter? Oh, all right. We'll be back right after this.
For $75. So go to mypillow.com right now and use our promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E, and get the standard My Pillow for just $14.88, the lowest price ever. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879, 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane.
Now back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 47 years on the air.
All right, if you're on hold, hang in there. Just great news. Liz Cheney very likely going to prison, and Trump's good name cleared, even in the minds of those that hate him. Coming up, one of the biggest mistakes Joe Biden made is really coming back to haunt the Democrats big time, and I'm very excited about. Oh, anyone notice President Trump's new hairstyle, by the way? For the first time, like ever, since Trump's been on the scene, he's got a new hairstyle. Yeah, I wonder if that'll become a fad. Have you seen it? I don't know how to describe it. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. Jeff from Maine.
Hey, Jeff. What's up?
Not only did I notice his haircut is a little shorter, but he's lost a lot of weight and he looks really good. He's thinned out in the face a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess winning is a helpful for weight loss and things.
I think he actually probably went on a diet, and because he was a little chunky in his first term, but I'm not bad. But I'm sure, his doctor in Melania is telling him, you need to trim down.
I think it has to do with he's been on the golf course a lot, and being on the golf course, the golf course is good exercise. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, I agree, because when I golf, you're walking, he rides, but if you're walking 18 holes every day, that's a good exercise.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, what's on your mind?
Liz Cheney, I believe that she thinks she's safe, like you said, because of her dad and all those, but I think that what's coming out is going to have a lot of people begging for a pardon from Biden.
Well, I don't know why people think Biden wants to give all these Washington creeps pardons. They deposed him. They took his nomination away and gave it over to this drunken wino, Kamala. But Biden, we know the Bidens voted for Trump. We know this. Jill showed up wearing that red pantsuit. She was very friendly with Trump at Notre Dame. Why would they help his enemies like Liz Cheney?
I believe that the people behind Biden, because he can't make rational decisions himself, knows that if one goes, they all go. Jill
Biden is more angry at them than even Joe. And Joe is, believe me, they're pissed. They're not, I know people are saying they're selling pardons. Maybe not, we don't know, but they're not doing it to Washington insiders. If, you understand what I mean? Chinese spies and pedos, these people that stole all that money from the kids. I don't see these inside Washington people getting pardons.
But remember what Hillary Clinton said, if I go down, I'll take half D.C. with me. I mean, I believe it's that type of serious condition for them.
Mm-hmm.
What they're in. They're in a very serious... Trump can take them down.
Yeah.
I believe they're gonna get together and try to do that, because how else are they gonna avoid...
Exactly. Listen, if it wasn't for Kash Patel coming in to run the FBI and Pam Bondi coming in as Attorney General, I'd say, okay, nothing's going to happen here. But that we've got new people that are outsiders that are not married to all these psychos and sickos in D.C.
It's like an old inbred family for generations. That's what the deep state is. It's really grotesque.
It is.
It's come to an end. And Trump was so patient. I was under the mindset, and you remember this, I said, if we don't fix 2020 and prove voter fraud, we've lost our country, because they will steal every election from here.
Well, I guess you were wrong. We got it fixed.
I believe Trump fixed it, and he found the right people in the government. There are still good people in the government. Well, there's good in America. I don't know about the government. All right, hey, I appreciate the call. Take care. You got to understand, this is a whole new thing that's going on now. The Republican establishment has been completely defeated. Mitt Romney, in this interview we did the other day, saying that the Republican establishment's gone, it's now a MAGA party. He made one comment that was so revealing from that snake, and he's part of that same group as the Bushes and Liz Cheney. He said, Mitt Romney said in this interview, same interview, where he said it's a MAGA party now, that Trump was able to turn the Republican Party into the party of the middle class, took that away from the Democrats. I was under the impression that the Republican Party has always been the party of the middle class, but that shows you where the Romney-Cheney mindset is, the Bush mindset. They're rich country club elitist. Oh, man, this is great. I'm so excited. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Mike from Louisiana.
Hey, Mike, what's up?
Let me ask you this, Brian. If he who squeals makes the deal, what happens if Cassidy Hutchinson turns and squeals on Liz Cheney?
Oh, who's she going to make the deal with? Pam Bondi? She might do it. The thing about Liz Cheney doesn't... She's insane. Liz Cheney doesn't think she did anything wrong. She thinks she's a heroine who was trying to save America. So she's too stupid and arrogant and too far gone to make any deals or even seek out or accept a pardon, okay? So, yeah, but you're right. Cassidy Hutchinson, though, she's a nobody. She must be freaking out right now. I would be if I were her.
Yeah, she was just a grundoon in the Trump administration, and yet she has a definite chance of going to jail.
Oh yes.
That's the thing. And if she fears that she's got that chance of going to jail, she might very well flip.
That's right. Hey, listen, I appreciate the call, Mike. Yeah, this is great stuff. You guys got to stop thinking like losers, think like winners, and enjoy all of this incredible good news. Because good news, indeed, it is. And this isn't the only good news. After the next break, Biden and his corrupt administration made a lot of mistakes, all right? Did a lot of stuff. They made one mistake that was pretty big, and it is coming back to really bite them in the rear end. I'm going to get to that after the next break. But don't let these people tell you that nothing's happening with Liz Cheney. Liz Cheney is not as high up and connected as she thinks that she is. She's just barely above Cassidy Hutchinson. She's a nobody. Her connections are old and tired. Remember, she just got run out of office. She's a nobody. We have a MAGA Congress in the House, right? We have a MAGA House, a MAGA Senate, a MAGA President, a MAGA Attorney General, a MAGA FBI Director, and a MAGA Supreme Court of the United States. All right? So we're in a whole new world. Now, I want to talk about the free doorbell camera offer from Sloman's. You know, I've had this doorbell camera for, I don't know, it seems like years. I've had it a long, long time. And, of course, it's part of the security. I talk about that a lot. But, you know, you get a notification on your cell phone every time there's movement at the door. And a couple of years back, when we were still at the radio station in Boca, I was leaving my development. I got a notification that was moving on my door as I was driving out of my development. I'm like, who's at my door? I looked. My cat had gotten outside. I guess when I was taking out the trash, I didn't know that she had gotten outside. So I went home and let the cat in. Not an outside cat, a house cat. Boy, that was scary. The doorbell camera, I don't know what would have happened if my cat had been outside all morning until I got home. I may have lost her. But you can get a doorbell camera for free from Sloman's that connects directly to your cell phone with the installation of your Sloman Shield. Sloman's is also going to give you a free customized home security system and professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. They're going to give you an LED touchscreen, a motion detector, 10 contacts, a lifetime warranty, a backup battery, and a free doorbell camera with the installation of your Sloman Shield. Give them a call. 1-833-283-5050. 1-833-283-5050. Give them a call no matter where you're located. 1-833-283-5050. All right? That's the number. Now, I'm going to get into this next topic when we get back, but you know, the Republican establishment has been 100% deposed. They're out. They no longer have juice. They no longer have influence. They no longer can get deals made. No one's even interested in talking to them. They have been completely deposed. I know we got a couple rhino idiots in the Senate. I didn't say there are no rhinos. I'm talking about the power of the Republican establishment. Liz Cheney no longer has connections. Her daddy and Bush can't save her. They got no influence. There's no one interested in working with them. She doesn't know this, but that's the situation. All right, we'll take our last break of the first hour and be right back.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. I just want to say thank you for Dr. Appleton.
I'm not going to tell you how my security system works, but you can call Sloman's and find out for yourself. Get yours and find out.
In her life, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being such a willing vessel to talk about Dr. Appleton.
That's amazing. So you heard me in Orlando talking about Dr. Appleton and drove to South Florida with your mother to see him.
Yeah, my mom is awesome now. Awesome. No more arthritis, no more pills, none of that. She's going back to New York. She sits on a train for 24 hours. And I'm telling you, no pain. She gets off that train, and my sister says she walks like a young woman.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
Call Dr. Appleton and say bye-bye to your pain, too. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. Online, AppletonCairo.com.
Do you have questions about retirement? Hi, it's Kathy Green, co-host of the Jupiter Joe Money Show. Tune in Monday, Wednesday, Thursday at 6 p.m. and Saturday mornings at 7:30 a.m. to the Jupiter Joe Money Show. We answer all kinds of questions about retirement right here on your True Oldies channel.
Mike Lindell is offering wholesale pricing before Christmas. The standard My Pillow, just $14.88. They've never been offered this low before. That's right, just $14.88 and free shipping on
Here, are there any live spots for the next
Steve
hour?
Kane. I want to tell you about my favorite restaurant in
Mike?
all of South Florida, Wings Plus in Coral Springs. Wings just the way you like them. Plump, tender, and delicious, crispy on the outside, succulent on the inside. Everything homemade, nothing comes out of a can. Dozens of specialty sauces that will make your mouth water. Wings Plus, located in Coral Springs, a mile west of University on the south side of Sample Road. We take on the social justice warriors for breakfast. Now the Steve Kane Show is on the air.
All right. Welcome back, one and all. You know, the fact that President Trump is president again in his second and non-consecutive term it's the Christmas miracle, people. And I'll tell you, it's proof of the change in tone in this country. So I mentioned before the break that one of the biggest mistakes Biden made is coming back to haunt them now. And I'm talking about Eric Adams. I played the clip of him yesterday talking about the monster shooter and how the left have radicalized liberals. We were talking at the end of the show yesterday, Steve and I. These shooters are not conservatives. They want you to think they are because the media are liars. The school shooter the other day, radical liberal. This monster that they're trying to turn into some sex symbol that assassinated the healthcare executive, radical liberal. The two guys, the guy that shot Trump and the guy that tried to shoot Trump, obviously they're not conservative. They're not MAGA. They're liberal. Okay, you go through these terrible incidents, these god awful incidents. Don't let them convince you that they're conservative. They're leftist and they're being radicalized. We were talking about that yesterday at the end of the program, and we were talking about Mayor Adams, who's going to assist at the deportations and everything. Did any of you see the interview that Mayor Adams of New York City did with Dr. Phil? I want to play a little bit of this. Boy, oh boy. You know, Eric Adams is a major asset to us because, being mayor of New York City is a big deal. It's a bigger deal than being the governor of most every state. There's just something about being the mayor of New York City that puts you up on a level above so many that hold office. You're higher up than most anybody in even Washington. There's just a certain status that comes with being the mayor of New York City, and he is vowing to cooperate with President Trump on the deportations and other things as well. But Mayor Adams sat down with Dr. Phil and talked about this lawfare that's going on. Listen, this is just a clip.
Why do you think?
Hold on, let me pull it up here. Hold on, where are we? We are there. Okay, let's go.
Why do you think that happened?
I think it's a combination of things, and I believe at the tip of it is I was extremely vociferous about what was happening to the city during the migrants and asylum seeker issue. I lived my life not only when I was a law enforcement officer, but as a state senator, but president, now the mayor, following the law. And when you look into the crevices of the indictment, it clearly shows that something is just not right.
Okay, so here's Adams talking about and everybody knows this. President Trump talks about it all the time. They went after him, the Biden Justice Department. It's part of the lawfare. He came out against our open border and bringing all these illegals and colonizing America with them. And boom, next thing you know, he's getting indicted.
You know, Dr. Phil, I cannot tell you, the only consolation to this is that mommy's not alive. I would not want my mother to watch me go through this. And it hurts a lot. You know, Americans should go through being on the FBI watch list because you're standing up for your family member. That is just not what our criminal justice system is about. And that's the criminal justice system I fought for. I've been an advocate for proper criminal justice. And so I believe that the record is going to show I did nothing wrong. What I did right, I stood up for this city. And I believe there were those that just disagreed that why was I standing up to see what was happening to my city and happening to the families in the city.
Okay, so you know what? This is amazing. This is Dr. Phil's interview with Mayor Adams of New York City, talking about the lawfare. There's more. I'll play some more. It's a very good interview. This is just a clip I'm playing. They targeted him because he stood up against the migrant colonization, and he's high profile as mayor of New York City. They indicted him to make an example of him. If you stand up to us, you'll get indicted too. Show me the man, I'll show you the crime. And they got carried away. And now, with Trump back, Adams, he's talking.
This is in New York. President-elect Trump has been charged with a lot of things here. This is happening to you here. Is this something that has infected this district? Why do you think here this is going on?
You know, I started looking at my case and reading through it, and then I started to just go and search what has happened to other people. Not only to President-elect Trump, but there are other great patriots that have...
He's not very articulate, is he? But, you know, whatever. He's saying the right things. There's others. Yeah, like Mayor Giuliani, one of the greatest living Americans. And look at what they've done to Mayor Giuliani because he stood up to them.
Through a difficult period of time. And when you look at the amount of money you have to spend in defending yourself, you saw the leaks that were being slipped out and reported constantly. And as much as we ask the federal government, can you stop leaking this and allow us to have our opportunities to defend ourselves? And it's almost as though you have your hands tied behind your back because you can't talk as much as you want to push back on some of the accusations. But I think this is a national issue that we have to face. The American public is not aware of how I believe we have really abused our criminal justice system.
What would you say to your mother about this if she was alive?
I'll tell her I'm sorry. My mother was extremely proud of me. You know, she used to stay up late at night, Dr. Phil, and, you know, I was struggling in school, and she would tell me, you know, baby, don't worry, just, you know, keep trying. And she was proud when I became a police officer. She was...
Okay, he goes on talking about his mommy. We don't need to hear about mommy, but I'll tell you this. When Kash Patel and Pam Bondi are running the Justice Department and the FBI, and they start combing through the files and what's been going on, and this is not the old days where they can get the shredders out like Oliver North and shred stuff. Everything is archived electronically now. It's not so easy on multiple servers in multiple places. There are people right now in Washington that are freaking out. And you know, Mayor Adams talking this way is causing even more panic. You know, President Trump, you hear a lot of talk about this. He has a mandate. When has a Republican had a mandate in your lifetime? There's only one time that I can think of off the top of my head that a Republican has had a mandate, okay? And that was right after 9/11, George Bush. And it was very brief, but he briefly had a mandate for about 6 months. What's going on now is much different. You know, yesterday we were talking about Trump thinking about suing that newspaper and the pollster. And then after the show yesterday, he did it. Don't you see the panic in the media over this? The media are freaking out because they know that what they've been doing is criminal, is interference, is unethical. And everything is being exposed. Now, a lot of these things you and I have known about for years, but most Americans have not. Most Americans don't know what happened with Liz Cheney and Cassidy Hutchinson. They don't follow the news. You know, those of you that follow football, you know everything that happened on Sunday. I don't know anything because I don't follow it. I know the Dolphins lost, but But you know the details of every team, the stats. You know it all because you follow it. Someone like me, you might watch the Super Bowl and you know who the teams are, but you don't know who the players are, right? Well, that's how it is for most people when it comes to these scandals with the Lawfare. Most people in this country have no idea what's been going on. Even we are learning stuff, right, that follow this all the time, right? And when these things start to get opened up to millions of Americans for the first time in their mind, they're going to be sickened by it. You know, regardless of what people's political affiliations are in the United States, people still like to be able to trust our justice system, that just Lady Justice is blind, the scales of justice and all of that. And what we've seen are very bad officials and bad cops doing a lot of very bad things. And people are fed up with it. And when people, like, I'll tell you right now, one of these shows is going to get canceled, whether it's one of the MSNBCers or The View. Now that The View, which is already in big trouble, as we've seen, now that The View is jammed up in this Liz Cheney criminal referral, when one of these shows gets taken off the air, or one of these big-mouthed never-Trumpers gets taken off the air because of this pollution they've been putting out there, and they're conniving and conspiring and all of this, people are going to start to freak out big time. A lot of them don't understand what's going on. Now, you notice they've totally given up on Pete Hegseth. They're accepting him. I haven't heard really any opposition to Kash Patel that's meaningful, or to Pam Bondi. So this is a done deal. These people are getting in. Now they're going after Bobby Kennedy now. They're oh, you're pro-life, or what's your thought on this, what's your thought on that? A Kennedy could kill people, and that's okay, right? They're the dean of the Senate or whatever. The conscience of the Senate, whatever they called Ted Kennedy, I don't remember. But they've given up. All of Trump's picks are getting through. Pete Hegseth, they have dropped all of those slanders about Pete Hegseth. They don't even mention anymore. And the Stephanopoulos lawsuit has them all thinking twice before they slander President Trump or one of his people. Now, I want to tell you, there is still time to order your MyPillow, whatever you order at MyPillow, and have it delivered before Christmas. Go to MyPillow.com. Huge savings with our promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E. And you can use our promo code on all the specials at MyPillow.com. Let me tell you, you think about all the Christmas gifts you've gotten over the years or given. Do you even remember what you got last year? When you give the gift of any of the great MyPillow products, whether it's the pillows, the towels, the sheet sets, the slippers, the bathrobes, whatever you give, the pet beds, people will remember them for years to come. And they'll tell you too, I have all these products. I've bought every single one of them, except the first one with the promo code Kane, because we didn't have our promo code when I bought my first pillow. And I still have everything I've ever purchased from MyPillow and still use it, because everything Mike Lindell makes is of very high quality and it lasts. So there's still time to order and have your MyPillow products delivered before Christmas. And remember, you can also have them delivered directly to the recipient. Also, free shipping on orders over $75. And of course, these great discounts and the free shipping on orders over $75 is with our promo code Kane at checkout, K-A-N-E. You can also order by phone toll-free, 1-800-716-4879. 1-800-716-4879. Promo code Kane, K-A-N-E. Great Christmas gifts. And, if you have any, family get-togethers where you got to give a lot of gifts, MyPillows are great gifts. People will go nuts when you give them MyPillows for Christmas. People get so excited because they hear about them and they've seen them on TV for years and they don't have one. So promo code Kane, K-A-N-E, huge savings, still time to have them delivered before Christmas and free shipping on orders over $75. All right, if you're on hold, hang in there. We're going to take our break for the top. There's a lot more to cover. We will take your calls as well. 1-888-465-2631 is our number. 1-888-465-2631. You're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 47 years on the radio. Christmas morning, we obviously will not be here live. We'll be running Christmas music on our radio stations on Christmas morning, which is a week away. I cannot believe we are a week away from Christmas. It's hard to keep track because the weather's so good in Florida. We'll be right back.
3 HD3.
certainly the very first legal win.
We'll be back shortly, guys. We'll be back shortly, guys.
$1 a tire. That's out the door and on the road. Because Friendly Tire doesn't charge you to balance the tire or mount the tire. They have thousands of used tires in stock too, starting at just $30. Call for a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445.
On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian.
All right. If you're on hold, stand by. I was reading this article during the break. Listen to this. New real estate. Listen, this is something that is a long time coming. I'm surprised it does not exist already. Real estate platform to show neighborhoods' political leanings to prospective home buyers. This is in the International Business Times. A new real estate platform will allow users to look at the political leanings of the different areas to which they might consider moving. The tool is being launched by tech startup Odyssey and will initially be available in South Florida, right here, and New York City, according to Axios. Users will be able to see consumer and political data for each block, drawn from election results, campaign contributions, and licensable commercial data. Okay, whatever that is. It'll also show average housing trends. The launch comes weeks after a survey from Realtor.com showed that about a quarter of Americans are highly influenced by local and national politics in their decision to buy real estate. The survey showed that 38% of respondents believed their political views align with those of their neighborhood, and that 17% have considered moving over such differences. The figures rose to 28% for millennials, with 1/3, blah, blah, blah. Okay. You know, I'm surprised something like this doesn't exist already. That's pretty awesome. It's almost like a database where you can go online to see all the sex offenders in your neighborhood. And, you know, I know a lot of people might think, well, who cares? Believe me, if you've got liberals on your block, you'll know. I don't have liberals now, okay? At least not in the immediate vicinity. I used to. I talked about when the big housing boom was going on, a couple years ago here in Florida, and there were a lot of houses up for sale on my street, and there was a couple houses right across from the street from mine, and anytime I saw a real estate agent showing the house, I'd put on one of my Make America Great Again hats, and I'd go outside, even if I didn't have to, and putter around and pretend to be doing something, so that the people looking want liberal. You don't conservative. You don't want to live around liberals. 80% of Floridians, if you're a homeowner, 80% of homes are overseen by homeowners associations. And most homeowners associations here in Florida are Nazi-like organizations. They really, truly are. And if you are a conservative and you're in a liberal community with a liberal HOA, good luck to you. They will make your life miserable. They'll harass you and do all kinds of things. You don't want to be living around liberals. Plus, liberals, when they find out who you are, they become unglued. I've had incidents over the years with liberal listeners. I had one liberal listener the next street over find out I was living there and went around and knocked on everybody's door around me and told them that I was some conservative. I don't know what he told them, but it wasn't good because luckily these people got divorced and moved that lived next door to me. But I was very friendly with the people right next door, and after this lunatic liberal listener talked to them, they never talked to me again. And so, liberals are very nasty people. They want to destroy people. But anyway, I'm hoping that this app is available for just regular download. Wouldn't you like to know? Even if you already live there? Do any of you ever check the sex offenders database? I check it from time. I used to check it all the time when my daughter lived at home and was little. I don't check it as often as I used to. But the state of Florida, the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, have a sexual offenders database, registered sex offenders, where you put in your address and you can see all the sex offenders that live in your neighborhood. And it gives you recent, high definition color photographs of them too. And it shows you where they live. It's good information to have. But this one I like. I really like. The data that they're using for the app are what the political parties use when they're door knocking and sending out mailers and things like this. It's all the data is out there, pretty public. So anyway, that sounds pretty good. All right, let's go to the phones. 1-888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning.
Yep. Hey, Richie. What's up?
Yeah, I'm listening to you. This is gonna sound crazy. I give the Democrats all the credit in the world because they have. Every time I hear you say there's so much to talk about, the fact of the matter is that they have created such chaos in this country that like one minute you hear about Liz Cheney, next minute you hear about the border, next minute you hear about. We're all over the map, and because President Trump has such a mandate, and the American people are behind him, and he's such a strong figurehead, I still believe that you're wrong when you say that the rhinos are basically not running the party anymore. I think they're laying in wait because they once President Trump is, they're going to revert back to the same behavior. I believe this is going to be a one.
There's a few holdouts here and there, but they have no juice. They have no power. They have no influence.
You know how they have the influence and the power? Something that you didn't bring up, and there's a lot of. I don't want to change the topic, but you got it. Speaker of the House is going to go all in again, keep this government open, and have Democrats vote because there's not enough.
Mike Johnson is with President Trump as much as Elon Musk.
Yeah, but he's not going to shut the government down, and that undercuts.
Oh my gosh, nitpicking.
I mean, that's the biggest.
If when more important than Liz Cheney, are you kidding?
Liz Cheney is not going to go to jail. She's going to be exposed because she's going to be pardoned, and that's a fact.
Listen. Donald Trump has done two things that are, I believe, are two miracles. And how many miracles do you have to document to make someone a saint? Is it two? The first one is overturning Roe v. Wade. Never thought that would happen. Nobody thought that would happen, and he did that. That's a miracle. And the fact that he's president again. I saw Kai Trump, Don Jr.'s daughter. She was talking yesterday. You know, what has she learned from her grandfather? And she said that anything's possible. Look what they've done, and he's president again. So, you know, somebody that did what he has done, becoming president again after all this persecution and everything. Liz Cheney's a speed bump, and she very well could go to prison for this.
She's going to be pardoned by Biden.
Why do you think that? The Bidens love Trump and hate these people.
The Bidens love Trump.
They voted for Trump. We know that Joe Biden voted for Trump.
Let me tell you something. Let me ask you a question. You think it's more important for Liz Cheney to go to jail than to shut this government down for 1 month because they're going to add another
a month? They're gonna fire so many government workers and reduce the size. Yeah, shutting down the government. I mean, I'm falling asleep even hearing talk about it. Don't worry. Yes, it's more important long term for Liz Cheney to face justice. Yes.
Hold on a minute. He is hiring 112,000. He's trying to get this. It was just yesterday. People that sit at home, and you should see some of these positions that they're hiring. In other words, you sit at home and you don't do it.
Well, Trump's gonna order them all back to work, or they're gonna be fired. And they're gonna be fired. And they're gonna be fired. It's not gonna. Trump's not bound by that. Listen, I got to run, Richie. Richie's I tell you this. That's what it used to be like being a Republican. Loser, doom and gloom, losing, not gonna win anything. How many times did Richie call me and say Trump was not gonna win? Stop thinking like a loser. All right. Okay, we're gonna take our first break of the second hour. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. We'll be right back.
Shannon with a quick reminder that the oldies are back on the radio right after 10 this morning, right here on South Florida's
Hey, it's Brian. Yeah. Well, it's going to get busy after this. This is the last opportunity. Okay, so what are some things we can... Hold on a second. What are some things we can bring up? Okay. Okay, all right, hold on. Okay. We'll be back right after this.
Waste hours and hours waiting at the doctor's office or one of those big labs. Go to any lab test now with Boca at any lab test now with Coral Springs. Their prices are guaranteed to be the lowest you'll find anywhere. No appointment, doctor's order, or prescription is needed, and you're in and out in 15 minutes or less. They offer every lab and blood work your doctor could order. They even have drug testing and STD testing. Take control of your health care and visit any lab test now with Boca at any lab test now with Coral Springs.
How many are actually working from home? They're not. They may have other jobs. Or they're just watching Netflix. Who knows?
The Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM. Here's in Boca on 95.3 FM. Fort Lauderdale on 96.9. World and True Oldie.
All right, callers on hold. Stand by. All right, I'm Brian, Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Our Trump victory cruise is just over 3 months away on the Celebrity Ascent, leaving out of Fort Lauderdale on March 30th. And on the line, our travel agent who handles all of our cruises, Ian from Cruise and Travel Depot, is with us. We haven't talked in a while. What are some of the updates, Ian, with our Trump victory cruise?
Well, the updates are revenue over at Celebrity Cruises has given me a couple of rooms for new bookings in our inventory. So people who are on the fence or weren't able to get a room before, I've got 2 cabins.
Yeah, you know, the ship is really filling up, and every once in a while something will happen, and there'll be a cabin or 2 opening up for new bookings, and they'll be gone before you know it. So if you've not booked or you've been on the fence, you want to call Ian today and grab that. Now we're leaving March 30th for 7 days. Join Steve Kane and me, Brian Craig, and our great MAGA listeners on this victory cruise. We leave out of Fort Lauderdale on March 30th on the Celebrity Ascent, which is the newest ship and the flagship of the Celebrity Cruise Line fleet. And where are we going again?
We're going to Puerto Plata in the Dominican Republic, St. Thomas, and St. Martin.
Good. Can we talk about the shore excursions yet, or are those still on the down low?
We can talk about the shore.
Okay, now, of course, the one we've talked about a lot, the catamaran, a catamaran is a beautiful, nice, huge sailboat. We charter a private catamaran, a private sailboat for just our group. And all of our excursions are private to our group, like all of our activities. But chartering a sailboat's a pretty big deal, and it's become a regular occurrence on our cruises, which is a lot of fun. But we've got 2 other shore excursions. Where are they, and what are they?
Well, let's talk about the one in St. Martin. So we're going to disembark from the ship. We're all through Celebrity, completely privatized. And we're going to do this awesome island tour around St. Martin. It's also going to take us to the Toppers Rum Distillery, where we're going to see the whole operation and sample all kinds of exotic rums while we are shuffled around the island on a really high-end motor coach.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. That sounds like a good time.
Going to be really, really good. And you always see people buying bottles of this stuff, from St. Martin because it's, been made there for.
And remember, our shore excursions are always private, just to our MAGA group. So make sure to bring your MAGA gear, which we all wear. So when we're shuttled around, we have our own private vehicle too. Okay, and I'll be there with you. I'm on all these shore excursions with you. I kind of help the tour guide, even though I don't really know the places, but we have a good time. Okay, so so we got the catamaran, we've got this one. What's our third excursion?
So our third excursion in St. Thomas, kind of similar. We're going to go and we're going to board a private bus, air conditioned, of course, and that one's going to be a beach day, and it's also going to take us to a microbrewery on St. Thomas.
Oh, great! So when you say it's a beach day, what's that mean? We're going to go to a beautiful beach in St. Thomas.
We're going to go to a beautiful beach in St. Thomas. We're going to go to a craft beer brewery. We're going to drink some beers. We're going to get umbrellas and be, wined and dined at a beautiful location.
Oh, man, that sounds great. I mean, we're just going to have a great time. And you are almost all invited. No liberal stowaways allowed. And not only are our excursions private, but everything we do on board is private, including our dining and all of our onboard activities. Those of you that have gone in the past, we have a lot of activities we've never done before. on board while we were at sea and everything else. So we're going to have a great time. So join Steve Kane and me and our great MAGA crew of listeners on our Trump victory cruise. I'm going to give you Ian's number at Cruise and Travel Depot, and I'm going to tell you, I don't want people to think that Ian and I are being salesmen-y, because we're not. This ship, every once in a while, there'll be a cabin opening up for one reason or another, and they do not last. So you want to call Ian. Here's his number now. If you get his answering machine, his voicemail, leave a message. He could be on the phone with someone else. He will call you back in record time. Ian's number is 561-244-5779. 561-244-5779. All right, Ian, we'll talk soon. All right, take care. I love going on cruises. I do. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello, Brian. It's Steve from Boca. How are you?
Hey, Steve. What's up?
I have a really, really good idea. I know you say that Don and Eric sometimes listen to your show. I have a really great idea that I hope that somehow you can communicate this to them. I think that Donald Trump should get Congress and the Senate to pass a law that says that it's a requirement in public schools, junior high school, and colleges that the Pledge of Allegiance is said before classes begin.
They don't do that anymore? In school?
No, it's not in colleges.
Oh, in college? Oh, in college?
Follow me for a moment, please. Just follow. It's an out there thought, but trust me, it's a great one. Please listen. Could you ever imagine all of these colleges having to abide by a law that says you have to say the Pledge of Allegiance before class?
If you want federal money.
No. The teacher will lose his job because he's violating the law.
Mm-hmm. You know what I wonder? You make it. Oh, excuse me. All right, finish. I'm sorry to interrupt. I apologize.
No, you're wonderful. I love the show. I love the show. Please follow this logic to its end.
Okay.
You imagine if a teacher violated the law and did not say the Pledge of Allegiance, they would A, lose their job, B, lose their pension, and C, let's just say A and B. Now, these teachers in colleges are under that threat that they would either have to conform or be removed. That would be a phenomenal way to turn colleges inside out.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if you'd be able to do that in college, but do they still do the Pledge of Allegiance in the public schools every morning?
I don't know, but I want to do a lot more than that, and I want to make it a law.
Okay. All right. I appreciate the call. Appreciate the call. The thing about the Pledge of Allegiance, they made a movie in the 80s. It was a TV movie called America with Chris Christopherson, and it took place in the future. I think it was far in the future, the year 1996 or something. And the Russians had taken over the United States. And I remember there was a cover of TV Guide. Does TV Guide even exist anymore? I don't know. But the cover of TV Guide talked about how they had this big scene in America, and none of the extras knew the Pledge of Allegiance. There was this dramatic scene where they take on the Ruskies and they say the pledge at the end. The reason is they filmed it in Canada, and they didn't know the Pledge of Allegiance. I wonder how many kids in public school and college today do not know the Pledge of Allegiance. I wonder how many. I bet you a lot, more than you realize. I would not be surprised if they don't do it anymore in a lot of schools. I had one guy that I knew who was a school teacher, and he would always have a smarty pants or two every year that wouldn't say the pledge. And they would have all kinds of excuses. It's against my religion, and all this stuff. And they wouldn't stand for the pledge or do the pledge. And he told me what he would do is during the pledge, he'd have them go stand out in the hallway. And he said, they may not stand for the pledge in the classroom, but they're standing for it out in the hallway. And they're too stupid to know. He would tell me that. I thought that was pretty clever. But no, I did see though in Florida, we're banning in Florida any of these political flags, whether it's BLM or the trans flags, any flags other than the flag of Florida or the United States or the school flags are being banned from schools and classrooms, because you know we've seen these teachers that have turned their classrooms into gay bars in a lot of these instances. I mean, with everything that's going on. So we're very lucky to live in Florida. You know, as bad as DeSantis is on some things, I give him a lot of criticism. There are some good things he's done. You know, one of the things he's done is Ron DeSantis has gotten very much involved in the last couple election cycles in school board races, and we've taken over a lot of school boards. And that's why we're able to get a lot of this done. And he's been very good on the school curriculum. I will say that. That's a good thing that DeSantis has done. All right, if you're on hold, hang in there. We'll take our break for the bottom of the hour. There's much more to talk about and your calls right after this.
Test.
Yep, there's the level.
Yeah, but it's not it.
Is he getting picked off
No.
by another one?
I think so. Test.
There you go.
There you go.
You know, it shouldn't be that way. I mean, that's just like asking for problems. You know what I mean?
They definitely should put a.
I mean, I don't know how often those mics are used. They're probably not used very much.
I think we should have whatchamacallit,
Yeah.
stickers on it, like you said, like labels. Make it easier.
Just a number. You could do it with whiteout. Just put the number 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, as long as it shows something.
Yeah.
For it.
On the black thing there.
I vividly remember something like that, but I think it was the old mics when we had that studio, like those two mics. Yeah.
Every radio station has the mics labeled. I just don't think anybody uses them. I don't think they get
That's
used
why.
very much, so
Yeah.
it's never comes up.
No one thinks about it.
Well, but this board has options that a lot don't, where you can change which pot things come up in.
Yeah.
So that might be it, or maybe somebody plugged the wires in underneath wrong, or here wrong. You know, these should be labeled too. 1, 2, 1, 3. Then you can just look.
Let's see what I can do. See if we can label it a bit easier. Oh, that's the mic we used originally in the beginning of our class time. But
Yeah.
How it is. I'll move the commercials at 8:30 hour.
Okay.
So we have,
All conveniently sailing from Palm Beach on the award-winning Margaritaville at Sea Paradise. Don't sleep on the table because cabins are filling fast. Give the whole family a slice of paradise they'll never forget today at margaritavillatsea.com.
Mike Lindell is offering wholesale pricing for Christmas. The standard My Pillow, just $14.88. They've never been offered this low before. That's right, just $14.88 and free shipping on orders over $75. So go to mypillow.com right now and use our promo code Kane at checkout, KANE, and get the standard My Pillow for just $14.88, the lowest price ever. You can also order by phone, 1-800-716-4879, 1-800-716-4879, promo code Kane.
I'm reading some of the comments on my vlog this morning about my air conditioning. Some of them cracked me up. Some of them cracked me up. Have you guys watched my vlog that I uploaded this morning? If you haven't, watch it after the show. I was just reading some of the comments of advice I've been getting from people. Some of them are pretty comical. Here we go. You're on hold. Hang in there.
Now, back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig, celebrating 47 years on the air.
Alrighty, we are back. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show. If you're just tuning in, you've missed a lot. Liz Cheney very well heading to prison, which is very good news. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Conservative.
Oh, hey, Doug.
Hey, man. You know, I'm thinking that Liz Cheney is in big trouble, man, because being that she used to be a Republican in name, I think Biden has a thing against all Republicans, and I would kind of suspect he probably never liked her father either. So I think she... Well,
you know, Liz Cheney with this criminal referral coming from the House of Representatives, right? This is, she's in a similar situation to Hunter. Hunter got his pardon, but he's not pardoned for future crimes, and he's been messing up his whole life. So Hunter will end up arrested at some point. He's gone through life doing all kinds of crime, and he's always had daddy to, pops to bail him out, Liz Cheney, she did all of these things, and she thought that she had her daddy behind her and the Bushes. They have no juice anymore. And this idea that Biden would pardon her, but both of the Bidens are so ticked off at the Washington people for taking his nomination away from him. I don't know why people just assume he's going to be doing favors to these. He's given out over 8,000 pardons, I read this week, but they're not to these Washington people. They're like Chinese spies, these money thieves that were in prison that stole the money from the kids, some pedos, people like that, not Washington insiders.
And certainly not a Republican, The Republicans are the
exactly.
Evil. Anyway, but I think it's going to be interesting to see, and especially with Pam Bondi getting in.
Well, see, if Kash Patel was not going to be FBI director and Pam Bondi the Attorney General, I wouldn't even really be talking about this today. I'd say, oh, okay, whatever. So say, but here's the thing. Say she gets pardoned, which I don't think he'll pardon her. Okay, but say she does. Well, I could be wrong. Say that she gets pardoned. When Kash Patel sends his agents over to question her and she lies, that's a new crime. It would not cover her pardon.
I think she's, like I said, she's President Trump doesn't like her. The Republicans don't like her. The American people don't like her. So I think she's in big trouble. Well, we'll soon see.
Yeah.
The thing I'd like to say quick is on this miserable judge in New York who was going against the Supreme.
Yeah, Judge Chauvin.
Yeah.
Oh no, not Chauvin. That's the next. That's George Floyd. I'm getting ready to move into that. Listen, say what you want to say about the judge in New York.
Anyway, quickly.
Mershon.
Things they can do. They can either change the venue to another state, or they can move this judge to another state and get rid of him.
No, what the judge ruled is meaningless, okay? There's going to be an investigation by Pam Bondi into the daughter. The daughter, she's a partner in this Democrat fundraising organization. She raised $100 million, promising that Trump was going to go to prison while her dad was overseeing this case. Her dad left seats open in the courtroom so she could bring clients into the courtroom and see Trump on trial. So basically, he was selling seats in his courtroom. And so whatever the judge says is meaningless. When Pam Bondi investigates this and finds out and determines with evidence that his daughter is his Hunter Biden, it's over. I don't think people really have realized that we're in a new country today.
Not about it. And certainly, if the Supreme Court says something, you can't go against the Supreme Court. That's authority. So we'll soon see. This is going to be.
All right, I appreciate the call. Okay, now there's some big updates with Derek Chauvin and George Floyd. Let me play this. This was from Real America's Voice yesterday. This is Jack Posobiec interviewing someone on this.
The very first legal win for Derek Chauvin. We've been reporting all of it over here at Alpha News, but this is a federal judge who has finally come back approving this motion that has been in the works for months to examine heart tissue in George Floyd and also some fluids from George Floyd's body as well. And basically this is related to what's called a paraganglioma. This was discussed in the fall of Minneapolis. Some doctors came forward during Derek Chauvin's case to say, why wasn't this tumor tested in George Floyd? In many cases, it can lead to sudden cardiac death. They brought this information forward. His attorney at the time did not act upon this information according to court documents, and also the Judge Peter Cahill ignored it as well. So in this motion, the judge has now said that this testing can take place. What really, does this tumor have anything to do with his death? A lot of people are also picking up on the fact that George Floyd was not pronounced dead until about 9:30 that night. That's about an hour after this incident took place, something that we brought out in the documentary as well. So it's interesting that I think people are willing to have these conversations now to look.
See, now that's some new information I didn't know. George Floyd was not pronounced dead until an hour later? See, I was under the impression when this happened, this is huge, by the way, guys, huge. I was under the impression that George Floyd died at the scene while Chauvin was on top of him, and that the police officers and the paramedics went through the motions because they didn't want the crowd to know he was dead because they thought it would start a panic. But now we find out he wasn't pronounced, and they took him right to the hospital, but he wasn't pronounced dead for an hour. So how do we know he was dead then? And the other thing about this new autopsy that they're doing, Derek Chauvin was lynched. Don't you understand? Lynched. And what listen, I was talking to a black conservative caller last week, and she was talking about her, it might have been the week before, on the air. She called me on the air, and she told me that most black people are racist and hate white people. I asked her, and she told me. She didn't volunteer. I asked her, and she reluctantly said yes. Remember we talked about that? It was last week before. And liberal blacks with Black Lives Matter and others, during that George Floyd period, were out lynching white people. Particular police officers, like that other lady, that lady cop that went to prison. My goodness. The one that accidentally shot the guy that was trying to escape. What's happened with police officers during this Biden regime is insane. And Derek Chauvin, I promise you, is a Democrat because of where he's from and all of that. I'm not saying that he was in the right with George Floyd. I really don't know. When you see videotapes, the problem when people record things off their phones, people think, oh, well, we've got everything documented. We've got the video. People only take their phones out and start filming after whatever happened. By the time they start filming, the incident that led to it's over. We didn't get to see what led up to it. Okay? So actually, the people filming things on cell phone cameras is worse than having no video at all in most of these instances. All right? But I have never heard before that he was pronounced dead an hour after. That's insane. They took him right to the hospital. Why didn't they pronounce him dead right there? So when did he die? And we heard all the health problems at the time. Now, I'm not saying that the way that Derek Chauvin reacted was appropriate. Maybe it was. I don't know. Because he didn't get a fair trial. Derek Chauvin was lynched by racist activists, black Klansmen, basically. All right, that's what happened. So we never got a true picture of what happened. He did not get a fair trial, and he was convicted before he was arrested. All right, there was no way he was going to get away with this. And he's lucky to be alive. He was brutally attacked and almost killed in prison. So, you know, so there's a big difference, though, between police misconduct and murder. So I don't think he got a true, we got a true investigation as to how the arrest went down. The arrest may have gone down fine. He may have done what he had to do, and it was legal, or maybe he was too rough. But that's a big difference than murdering someone. And, you know, it's like that one guy, I forgot his name now. You know, a lot of these, Michael Brown. Okay. Remember Michael Brown? He was the hands up, don't shoot. They had that guy ready to send him away for the rest of his life, that cop. And what had happened in that case, if you remember, this was insane what happened. Eyewitnesses did interviews on CNN and other media outlets, and they said, we saw Michael Brown with his hands up, don't shoot. He was just standing there. He was doing nothing wrong. And they did all these interviews, people that were there. Now, one thing they left out is Michael Brown was literally the size of a baby elephant. He was 500 pounds or more. Okay? You know, you need an elephant gun for somebody like that. But when it came to the trial, and these same people that told CNN and the other outlets that Michael Brown just was, please don't shoot, hands up, don't shoot. When they were under oath in court, under penalty of perjury, which would send them to prison if they lied, they told the truth. And we found out that Michael Brown charged the police officer and tried to get into his car and take his gun away. And that's why that guy was acquitted. But in the George Floyd case, this guy did not get a trial at all. They should commute the sentence and release him. And do a new investigation if you want. I don't know if it's possible to determine whether or not it was a bad arrest, a good arrest. But I remember even at the time, his medical reports were coming out. And it wasn't probably Chauvin that killed him. It was his own problems, you know, that killed him. So this is big news. And, you know, this is federal. So with Pam Bondi as Attorney General, we're going to get to the bottom of this. And Derek Chauvin could very well be released from prison. Liz Cheney going to prison. Chauvin could very well be released from prison. All right, let's take our last break of the second hour. We're more than halfway through the show already. I told you we got a lot to cover. The show, it's like I blink and we're more than halfway through the show. Our number toll free, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. If you're on hold, stand by. We'll come back with your calls and more after this.
The cold, hard truth. Delivered morning 6 to 9 right here on The Steve Kane Show.
Hey, Mike, to all these listeners, John Tesh here with some intelligence for your retirement this time. When you're looking for a retirement advisor, you don't trust an experienced or two name qualities to look for. And as it turns out, my friend Jupiter Joe Thomas possesses both qualities. Whether you're in retirement or looking to retire, watch the local expert Joe Thomas call. Here's the number, 561
Yeah, after the show, guys, go and if you haven't, go watch that video that that vlog I dropped this morning.
When it comes to dental work, there's no one better than Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. But don't just take my word for it. This is Richie the bus driver. He called in on the air to share his experience with Dr. Gupta. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
I don't think he'll get a pardon from Trump. No. Yeah, Kim Potter's the other officer. Yeah, and she it's insane. But they were lynching police officers, you know.
Richie the bus driver. Go see Dr. Gupta at Brighton Dental. 954-922-4633. 954-922-4633.
Join us for Moments of Scripture, hosted by Jan Coleman every Sunday morning from 6 to 6:30 a.m. We will read the Bible, pray, and honor lessons to all who listen in the name of our Lord and Savior. Moments of Scripture every Sunday at 6 a.m.
We take on the social justice warrior for breakfast. Now, Steve Kane Show. The air.
All right, we are back. 47 minutes after the hour, a week before Christmas. I'm Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Yeah, you're on the air.
Hi, my name's Noah.
Your name's what?
I was
Oh, Noah, like the Ark. Noah. Okay.
Yeah. I was just playing a Star Wars game off. I just had to turn my TV off.
Oh, okay. So you called me. What's on your mind?
Nothing much. So, I just wanted to talk to you, not really like give a question or debate, but I more wanted to just like make a statement. So, I grew up in Rhode Island. I grew up like Democrat, kind of, not really talked about in my household because my family separated like the house and politics, thankfully. But I grew up around Democrats, and I just want to say it was the most racist and disgusting thing I've ever been around. Like,
You sound you're Portuguese. Are you black?
Nah, I'm not black. I'm ginger. Like
Ginger.
think like
What's ginger? I don't know what ginger is. You sound black.
I'm like sorry, I'm nervous.
That's okay.
Quickly, so like
Irish Portuguese. Okay.
I'm really white, but I have a Portuguese tan, and I read it.
And you sound okay. So you're Irish. You have a Portuguese tan, and you sound black. Okay. So when you talk about racism, give me an example of the racism you're talking about.
So like, I would go to school, and this is just like, you know, kids will bully each other, but like, especially in modern times when material things are like really high value.
Mm-hmm.
End up sharing like outfits with my brother because we didn't have a lot of clothes. I would get called black. I would get called white trash by people who are Portuguese, and like just even.
But where's the racism?
I just feel like demeaning someone, so like calling them like another race, just like, or just calling them white trash, and isn't that like kind of racist? Just because.
Well, it depends on who's saying it. Like, white trash is kind of like the N word for white people. So who was calling you white trash? White people, black people, what? Who called you white trash?
Pretty much white people and black people.
Oh no, it's not racist. White people can say it. If somebody non-white called you white trash, that would be racist. But if somebody white called you white trash, that's not racist.
You don't think that if someone is manipulated by enough like dumb information, they can be racist against their own culture and race?
What do you mean? Can somebody be like racist against people of their own skin color? I don't know. That seems no.
I would say a good example of this is like liberal women saying, "Oh, you know what? I'm sick of all these white people doing all this fucked up shit."
Oh, no. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna say I don't know. He the way that he talks like white trash. I must say that I had to use the dump button. But that's maybe he's trying to prove that he is white. I would say if he's white, which I doubt, I don't know if I doubt. I question whether he's white. Okay? But if he's white, talking the way that he did in polite conversation, you know, calling a show like this and all, that would be white trashy to do. But then again, I'm white, so it's okay for me to call people white trash. I could also, you know, Karen's another white person's N-word. Biden, this is insane. Biden is working to hire quickly 1,200 federal workers for their DEI. Didn't earn it. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. Jobs would have an annual salary of up to $310,000. Somebody gets a job working as a DEI inclusion person. They make over $300,000 working for the federal government. Oh my goodness. The salary payouts total $160 million a year. 33 DEI jobs were posted in the 10 days immediately following Trump's election. Don't worry about that. When Doge comes in, all these diversity and equity offices will be dissolved. There's no need for any, you know, here's the thing, okay? DEI, diversity inclusion, that's used to be affirmative action. They changed the name. I don't know when they changed it, and it kind of happened without me even, I don't think anybody really realized it, but affirmative action, you know, there was a time when affirmative action was probably needed. 50, 60, 70 years ago, maybe even in federal jobs. But when's the last time, I want you to think about this now, it's a serious question. When do you encounter people that are federal employees? If you're outside of Washington, your mailman, Social Security office, Medicare, and all that stuff. When is the last time someone who is white helped you from any of the federal offices, including delivering your mail? And if you have a white mailman or mail lady, how many of those do you really see anymore? Minorities are overrepresented in government jobs, okay? Incredibly overrepresented in government jobs. So if the diversity, equity, and inclusion offices were to stay intact, which I don't think they will. I think Elon Musk and Doge with Vivek will get rid of it. I can't remember the last time I had someone white deliver my mail. I can't remember. It's been years. And I'm not against black people working for the government, but is it fair to say that minorities are overrepresented in government jobs? So if the diversity, equity, and inclusion offices were to stay in business, I think they need to bring some diversity, equity, and inclusion for white people who are underrepresented in federal jobs. But we really don't need any of that anymore. You know, this is just, you know, the federal government with Doge, okay, with Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy under Trump, is going to turn this government upside down in ways that you have no idea. You know, there's talk of these tens of thousands of federal workers that are still working at home. These federal workers that are still working at home, how many of them do you think are actually working on the job that for the government that they're hired for? I bet a lot of them have second jobs, or they just sit around like the guy there with the salty language that I had to dump and play video games all day or watch Netflix. They're going to get fired. And Trump's already talking about this. He's ordering them back to work, and if they don't come back by a certain date, they're fired. And President Trump is going to do with those workers what Reagan did with the air traffic controllers who went on strike. Fire them. And you know what? People are going to be very happy about that. I knew a guy who worked for the federal government. He was a part-time board op at a radio station I worked at. And he just liked hanging around radio stations. So he would, you know, he was a weekend board op, but he worked for the federal government. And I remember he never had worries about anything. And he would talk, he could do whatever he wanted. He was a white guy. This was a long time ago. He could basically do whatever he wanted. He couldn't get fired. And you hear the discussion going on now about how that when they want to fire somebody, it takes many years, and they may not even be successful firing them. Those days are over. And people in this country are fed up with what's going on. You know, all these things that have been going on in the government, no one's been happy about it. You know, remember Obamacare when the government was going to take over healthcare, the national outrage that went on? People don't like this bureaucracy. They see what they're doing to Trump. And when the deportations happen and the firing of all of these federal workers happen, those are going to be two of the most popular things that any president of the United States has ever done. Now, here we are. It's the Wednesday before Christmas. If you're in pain, start the new year pain-free. Go see Dr. Appleton. Take advantage of his incredible laser-away pain treatment. He rid me of pain 6 times. The first time was over 2.5 years ago. He rid me of knee pain. And none of the pain he's treated me for, including the knee that he rid me of pain of over 2.5 years ago, none of the pains have returned. It is amazing. He is a miracle worker. And, the laser-away pain treatment works on every type of pain I've ever heard of. Every time I go see Dr. Appleton, I run into listeners over there. And every time I run into a listener, I ask them what are they getting treated? It's always something different. It's amazing how many different types of pain that people suffer from. One of our listeners has arthritis in the neck he was getting treated for. I could not imagine what that must be like. Dr. Appleton performs all the laser treatments himself. Isn't that amazing? Yeah, doesn't have an assistant to it. He performs them all himself. It is 100% painless. No injections, no drugs, no surgery, no downtime. And it works. That's the best part. I got a sneeze coming on. I don't know, does the laser treatment help with sneezes? I got a sneeze coming on. I'll try to wait until we go to the recorded break. The laser-away pain treatment works, I'm here to tell you. You know, living with pain is not just a part of growing older. You can live without pain, and you should. Who wants to live with pain? I'm going to give you Dr. Appleton's number. Remember, appointments are not necessary. Walk-ins are welcome, even on Saturdays, but we're a week away from Christmas. If you want to call ahead and find out what the holiday schedule is for the rest of the year, do that. While appointments are not necessary, you can make them. And if you're coming from out of town or out of state, you don't need appointments. But if you're coming from out of town or out of state, like many of our listeners have to see Dr. Appleton, I would recommend that you get an appointment. Okay, make an appointment if you're coming from out of town or out of state, but you don't have to. 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. That's 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonChiro.com. Give Dr. Appleton a call and say bye-bye to your pain. All right, if you're on hold, hang in there. 2 hours down, 1 to go. After the top of the hour, there's some other topics to get into when we get back. Steve will be joining us, and we will take some more calls. I may recap with Steve a little bit the Liz Cheney very well going to prison story, because that's pretty big. But there's a lot of other things we haven't even touched on yet this morning. You're listening to Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 47 years on the radio. My name is Brian Craig. Our number toll-free, 1-888-465-2631. 888-465-2631. Back after this. Steve, you there?
Yes.
Okay, hold on. Oh, gosh. Not sure. Uh-huh. Oh.
This is Steve Kane. I want to tell you about my favorite restaurant in all of South Florida, Winnie's Plus in Coral Springs. Winnie's just the way you like them. Plump, tender, and delicious, crispy on the outside, succulent on the inside. Everything's homemade, nothing comes out of the can. Dozens of specialty sauces that will make your mouth water. Winnie's Plus, located in Coral Springs, a mile west of University on the south side of St. Aurora. On the air since 1977, it's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
All right, callers on hold. Stand by. I'm Brian. Steve Kane joining us. Hey, Steve.
That no one's talking about.
Oh. Okay.
Maybe our audience has some of the answers that I'm missing, but you know these two astronauts who were up there, and by the way, is that an Apollo mission?
No. SpaceX, you mean? No. It's I forgot. They're what's the airline? What's the air? No, not the airline. The airplane manufacturer where the planes keep crashing. It's the same people. Boeing. I think it's Boeing. It's not SpaceX. No. They're on the space station.
Whatever it is, I think their goose is cooked. I've been following this. Nobody's talking about it. They just, did you hear the thing in the press this morning?
I saw a headline that they got to stay longer. They've been up there for.
Been 2 months, but this is like the third time they pulled this.
Yeah,
They're not saying anything's wrong. No danger here. Yeah, everybody's got a smile on their face, except me. I don't think the prospects are very.
The last time I heard them, a few weeks back, they said the woman. If you're on hold, hang in there, guys. The phones are lighting up. The woman was having some serious issues, mental health issues, like she's not handling it well.
They were a little vague about it, whether it was mental health issues or whether she had lost a ton of weight. She's like a skeleton.
I don't know why they're still up there because the government. The cover story. No. Elon Musk. Listen, if Trump were the president now, they'd be back. He would. Elon Musk. SpaceX contracts through the government. Trump would have them send up a ship to get him. Elon Musk goes to the space station all the time.
Do you believe that Elon Musk could do that now if he wanted to?
No, all of the all of the launches are done through the government, even through SpaceX.
Could be done. Don't you believe they would do it?
No.
Why not?
Because Biden, I mean, listen, Steve, American girls are raped and murdered by their dreamers and they don't care.
You're ready to hang this on Biden.
Well, Biden's the president, yes. NASA works for Biden.
Do you think that Biden called them up and said, don't bring them back yet?
No, I just don't think he cares. They don't care when Americans are raped and murdered or held hostage in their apartment buildings by these Venezuelan gangs. What are they going to worry about a couple astronauts?
No one in the whole trip that I've heard, there's been no.
Trump will get them back. Trump will get them back. Trump will get them back. No one's asked. I'd ask. Trump will get them back. He'll send Elon Musk to do it. The thing about, I used to be so into, you should take your grandkids to the Space Center, Steve. The museum they have there at the Space Center at Cape Canaveral will blow their minds, but you would love it. It's as good as, it's better than the Smithsonian's Air and Space Museum. I went there a couple years ago, and it will blow your mind. But, I used to be so into space and all that stuff. And when William Shatner went up on Jeff Bezos's penis rocket a couple years ago, William Shatner, he came back, and I've seen him talk on a lot. He says there's nothing there. It's all black. There's nothing there. It's all on the Earth. It's a waste of time. And then when Captain Kirk's saying that, there's nothing. You wouldn't get me on one of those rockets? There's no way. There's no way I'd go up there. No, for free, or maybe for a lot of money, but
You're playing anymore.
no, I'm not into flying either. I haven't liked to fly since 9/11, tell you the truth. I used to fly all the time.
Became the Secretary of Transport.
Oh, yeah. Trump will get the astronauts back.
Well, so far, nobody's voiced an alarm.
But the way that it's going, this woman may be the first to die in space.
But no one's breathing a word of it. So what wants to give us some feedback on that to put my is because the lady, if you've seen the pictures.
Oh, she looks like hell. She looks like hell.
She looks like a skeleton. She's already.
They have at least they used to. They have a space capsule attached to the space station as like a lifeboat. I don't know why. I don't know if it's still there. It should be there. Nothing would get me to go to that space station. The space station's like 30 years old. Forget about it. More than that. Nothing would get me up there. Nothing.
Yeah, I think it's going to.
Okay. All right. Well, let's. Okay. Well, let's go to the phones. 1-888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, it's Renee from Harlem.
Oh, hey, Renee. How you doing?
What's up?
Yeah, I'm listening to your diatribe about how we lynched Derek Chauvin.
Mm-hmm.
I remember he was stabbed by a white guy.
Stabbed?
22 times in prison.
No, I was talking about his arrest and trial. I wasn't talking about what happened to him in prison. I was talking the lynching was the lynching was his arrest, trial, and conviction over the George Floyd thing. That's the lynching I was referencing, not what happened to him in prison.
Well, he's still alive, so he wasn't lynched.
Okay.
Wake up.
How you?
I think he's you trying to tell us you're out of material?
Is this the first time we've talked since that wino lost to the great President Trump?
The wino is the guy that they're going to put back in the White House.
Yeah. How's it feel to be in Trump's America again?
Klansman.
Well?
You don't sound happy.
Yeah, you're one of them.
He just made Herschel Walker ambassador to the Bahamas. Would a Klansman make a black man an ambassador?
Treat him gently.
Especially Herschel Walker, yeah, he would.
We can't really, we don't have a lot of.
Hey, Steve, shut up.
Liberals.
Oh. This is what happens when your whole life revolves around putting Trump in prison and he gets reelected.
That's what happens when world collapses.
You've lost everything. You were wrong about everything, Renee. No, you lost. Kamala lost.
Guy Crooks, the reason he got shot is because he missed.
All right. Okay. Now you've gone too far. I can't say what he said on the air. No, I'll tell you after the show. I thought that the Trump derangement syndrome people were in a deep clinical depressed state.
It's faking consciousness.
Oh, really? He's making himself sound energetic. Oh my goodness.
It's just the rage spilling over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Let's. Mm-hmm.
Aren't calling too much.
Yeah. You know, when you lose there's still elections. I mean, you guys. I'm sure the Democrats will win an election at some point in the future, at some time. Hopefully not. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Renee needs to understand happiness is a decision. This is America. Things can happen that you never thought ever could be possible.
Oh, MAGA Tom. We got MAGA Red Pill Tom.
I'm here. Hey, first of all, I take my multivitamins, no red pills, okay? Let's get that first. Second off, Renee just gotta chill, man. I mean, he's so angry about everything. It's like,
What are you trying? Let me ask you this: Why are you trying to sound like a comedian? I take multivitamins, not red pills. Nothing in there, eh? I mean, what are you? Any young men here? What? You're trying to sound like you're trying to be funny. You're not.
Brian, I actually take that as a compliment that you thought that I was trying to make a joke instead of just being a.
Oh, so that thing with the multivitamin, no red pills, that wasn't an attempt at a joke?
Well, I don't take red pills. I take my multivitamins. How was that a joke?
Could you imagine what our country would have been like if Kamala would have won? No, dishonestly.
Okay, fine. Listen.
Isn't everything you say honest?
You got no more liberal callers calling.
Well, you're not liberal. No,
more than you know.
The last 3 callers have been liberal. You, Renee, and that idiot that from Rhode Island, the white trash guy. All liberals. The last 3 callers have been liberals.
I heard Steve's question. What was going on with the astronaut?
Yes.
I called in. I was going to say something about that, and then Renee calls up.
Talk about the astronauts. Okay.
Yeah. So that 8 days they were supposed to be up there. Something happened with the pod. They sent the pod back with them not in it. SpaceX was going to send up a rocket to go get them, but they delayed their rocket launch by a couple more months because of the fact that when they were doing their checks, they found something, so they can't send it up as quick as they wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that was the first time
Okay.
they canceled it. That was the reason for
Yeah,
the
no,
latest cancellation.
From what the news is saying, okay, they said that because of SpaceX checks and balances, the way they do that before they send up a rocket, something went wrong, so they have to delay the mission.
See, you know what? The deal with...
What's their conflict with?
Yeah. Oh, the drone?
I don't think the government carries too much credibility.
The thing with the hold on, Tom, slow down for a second. The thing with the space program, okay? As an example, when the Columbia disaster happened, remember when the Columbia came back into and it disintegrated on re-entry because some of the tiles were loose, and I was shocked to learn that when NASA knew the tiles were loose. And they brought them back anyway because there was no way to rescue them. So when you go to space, there's no way to be rescued. I mean, I know they made that movie Marooned, but
But the interest, the hook, as we would say in the biz, the hook is that you're not trying to make up a...
No, you're on your own. You're on your own.
And they're jerking us around.
Well, the astronauts that are stuck up there, okay, they could make them feel better by telling them when they eventually come back to Earth, they're going to be millionaires many times over because they have If they survive, they'll be millionaires many times over because they've got a very profitable story to sell. They can write books, be on the speaking circuit.
To sell it.
Yeah. Trump will bring them back. Trump will get them back. All they got to do, SpaceX goes there all the time bringing supplies. These are all NASA missions. They leave one of the astronauts home so they have an empty seat. Bring one of them back each time. That's it.
Hold on, let's just focus for a second. If they didn't do that now, they were scheduled to come back now. And this is
Well, they were scheduled to come back like months ago.
Well, yeah, and they were rescheduled to come back.
Mm-hmm.
And then they rescheduled that rescheduled.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
so at what point did they tell us the truth?
They're never going to tell us the truth, and they'll be lucky to make it back alive. I mean, the woman sounds like she's on death's door. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, listen, we got to run. Hey, Tom, good to talk to you. Okay. But quick question. I got a quick question for you, Tom. Those vitamins you take, are they Flintstone vitamins?
Yes, that's either chewable. Have a good day, bud.
I figured. Yeah, childlike mind. All right, if you're on hold, hang in there. I'm Brian, Steve Kane Show. Steve's here. We'll be right back.
Don't sit on the sidelines. Get in on the action. Call the Steve
I saw someone mention in the chat Flintstone vitamins. That's why I asked him.
Kane Show with Brian Craig.
So, I need Joe Thomas is not going to be with us today.
Oh, did they reschedule it?
I don't know if they rescheduled, but Jenny just texted an event saying that. What did I see? Oh, Mike left off with let us know when you'd like to reschedule, so no rescheduling yet.
Solomons and their free home security system and free doorbell camera with professional installation offer is here. Yep, finally some great news. How would you like a free doorbell camera? You get a doorbell camera, you get a doorbell camera, and you can get a doorbell camera. The first 40 True Oldies listeners who call 833-283-5050 will get this limited time offer of a free doorbell camera that connects directly to your smartphone with installation of your Sloan Shield. And that's not all. Sloan's will give you a free customized home security system and professional installation when you use their low-cost contacts, backup battery, and service plan. Plus, if you're one of the first 40 True Oldies, installation of your Sloan Shield. Keep your lease safe. Call 833-283.
This is Mark Laporta, son of Tom Laporta and proud second-generation owner of Laporta Roofing. As a military veteran who served in the Army after 9/11, I brought the same dedication and discipline to our family business. At Laporta Roofing, we've been serving our community for nearly 4 decades, and we're committed to continuing that legacy of excellence. Our team specializes in all types of roofing systems, from shingles to tile, slate, metal, and flat roofs. We're the go-to experts for single-family homes, HOA communities, and condo associations. What sets us apart is our unwavering commitment to customer satisfaction. I've personally implemented systems to ensure you receive the best in customer service and workmanship. Don't miss out on our limited time offer for a free roof inspection. Call us now at 954-604-4602 or visit us at reporterroofing.com. Trust the experts who have been protecting homes like yours for generations. Again, that number is 954-604-4602. 4602.
Do you suffer from neuropathy? I did, until I went to Lighthouse Medical Center in Pompano. Numbness, pain, burning, tingling in my hands and feet, muscle weakness, loss of balance, muscle twitching, and all but disappeared. Say goodbye to your neuropathy symptoms. Call Lighthouse Medical Center for a free consultation. 754-222-6642.
Now back to the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig. Listen in the Palm Beaches on 95.9 FM, the Treasure Coast on 106.9 FM, Fort Lauderdale on 96.9 FM,
All right, we're back. Okay, I found part of the problem with the astronauts. Butch and Sonny are their names. No, Butch. No. She may be Butch, but no, Butch is the guy. Butch is 61, and Sonny, the lady's 58. I mean, they're sending geriatrics into space. That's too old. That's why she looks like hell. They're too old.
The last time that you got lost up there, they showed before and afters of her, and she is.
Oh yeah, she's going down the tubes. She's going down the tubes. But these people are too old. They used to be young and fit that they sent up in space. You know, I thought after Krista McCall, they stop this stuff. But space flight's gotten too casual. All right, our number 1-888-465-2631. I mean, you don't see Elon Musk going up on any of his rockets, do you? No. I watch almost every SpaceX launch from my backyard. I get up on my roof and watch them. And those things, when they take off, man, it's a rocket ship. I mean, it's like a bat out of hell. I mean, there's no, I've met a lot of astronauts, here in Florida, I've met a lot of astronauts. And my fear of going into space, and I've talked to several astronauts about this, and I said, the re-entry, you're like falling, right? And that feeling of falling, and they told me, no. You don't have a feeling of falling. I forget what the effect is called. Your body, you don't feel falling. They said the scary part's the launch. And these astronauts, I'm talking about the real astronauts, like Apollo. I'm not talking about these space tourists, okay? I'm talking about like Apollo astronauts and shuttle astronauts and stuff I've met. They've all told me that the launch scares the hell out of them. And I said, it scares the hell out of you? You're a fighter pilot. And it scares you? They said, yeah. It's the most intense thing you've ever experienced. Nothing would get me on a rocket. Nothing. Nope. I don't think you would either, Steve. I mean, But I hardly do. I hate flying. You know what I do? Every time I fly, I get to the airport 2 hours early, and I have at least 4 screwdrivers, and I always get the best alcohol they have because it could be my last. It was not that way till 9/11. After 9/11. I have not flown sober since 9/11. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Never Trumper Steve in beautiful Palm City. How is Brian doing? And Steve, how you doing?
We're doing great.
We're in Trump's America. How could we not be doing well?
What can you do that for us?
I would love to. This nonsense about Liz Cheney, I would say to your audience, for starters, that these stories, one after the next, and this is even before the inauguration, but once after the inauguration, these stories are going to come out one after another on this retribution tour, and that when you hear these stories, ask yourself, does this help your prices go down for groceries?
Let me ask you a question. Do you believe that, first of all, are they stories in quotes, or are they real?
Well, what is about Liz Cheney, it's nonsense. There is no reputable attorney or judge that would ever allow this to get anywhere. This nonsense that Casey Hutchinson...
You don't think if Biden wants to pardon her while he's still president, you don't think he can do it?
You know something? I hope some of them do not take the pardon, but I think Biden would be...
Not what I asked you. I don't think they're going to try to do it. Look, this whole big thing, from here on to the end, as far as Biden goes, it's a big F.U. Don tour. What's going on here?
Biden would be doing the country a big favor if he does pardon them, because voters have said, we want you to get our prices down. You have Kash Patel with 60 people on his enemies list. You think they're ever going to have time?
Really? Listen, Liz, who's on Kash? I missed this. When did Kash Patel release this 60-person enemies list?
Apparently the book he wrote, and then there's a book, a children's book where he calls Trump king.
Oh, I have. Oh, I have that. I have that children's book, Kash Patel's book. I bought it. Yeah, I have it. Yeah, I've got 2 copies. I've got a reading copy and a collectible in plastic. Listen, what happened with Liz Cheney? Okay, they have text messages of her crafting testimony with Hutchinson, that's criminal. That's suborning. She's suborned perjury.
Explain to your audience how this works. These things are choreographed. When the committee goes on TV, they know already what the witnesses...
Slow down a second here. Just slow down. Slow down. Listen, slow down, Never Trumper, Steve. Okay. Look at how low you've gone. I want you to think about this, okay? Your Trump derangement, you're not going to let this sink in because your Trump derangement syndrome is so deep. I'll deal with what I want to deal with, okay? It's still America. Kamala lost. We have free speech, okay? Trump won. Free speech is allowed. Your Trump derangement syndrome is so severe. Here you are defending Ava Braun, right? Not the wife, but the daughter of the biggest war criminal of our time, Dick Cheney, who lied about weapons of mass destruction, who is wealthy from blood money of dead people in the Middle East and wounded warriors from those commercials. Think about who you're defending. The Cheney family.
Who agreed to the war? He wasn't president. The president, as I recall...
Oh, Dick Cheney had nothing to do with the WMD lie.
I'm not saying that, but he didn't make the final decision to start the war.
Oh, please, give me a break.
Understand, she knows what the witness is going to say, so she elicits the questions to get the...
No, she crafted her testimony, her sworn testimony. She wrote it with her.
To that, I'm sorry.
Well, the committee, then why did the committee recommend her for a criminal referral?
You know what I'm going to do? I can't bring it up today because it's not one of your topics today. I'll wait for MAGA Mike Friday. I'm going to bring something else up on Friday that I shouldn't do today that came out on Monday, and I know why you didn't.
No, tell us what it is. What is it?
Okay. When I say the name Alexander Smirnov, do you know what I mean?
Smirnov, the vodka people?
No. No. I don't drink, so I don't know.
I do.
Alexander Smirnov pleaded guilty on Monday to providing false information to the feds about Joe Biden and Hunter accepting $5 million each in bribe money.
Oh, okay. So there's... So I...
To be totally...
What was false? What was what? What? Excuse me. Slow down. What was false?
Add on...
What was false?
Biden.
What?
False story.
What was false? Slow down, because I didn't know about... What? Maybe I didn't want to... What? Slow down, Steve. What was proven to be a lie about Biden? I missed it.
Well, when you say you missed it, how could it was a large story?
Tell me, what was proven not to be true about Biden?
An FBI informant that, according to his guilty plea on Monday, he started the rumor that the Republican committees went with that Biden and Hunter were each paid $5 million being bribed by Burisma, the gas company in Ukraine. And that was peddled.
Okay. So you're telling me that Burisma gave Hunter Biden excuse me, slow down. You're telling me that Burisma paid Hunter Biden, a known crackhead, all this money and there was no scandal there?
Not a scandal. The money was never paid. The whole story was false.
So he made no money? So Hunter made no money from Burisma?
I'm talking about, well, he made money being on the board of Burisma.
Why would Burisma put a crackhead on their board of directors?
Well, that's saying, why would Laura Trump be in
She's not on, no.
In life. Unfortunately, it's who you know. That's the truth.
It's who you know. How dare you compare Laura Trump to Hunter Biden?
jobs.
All right, Steve. Take care. Take care. I appreciate the call. We're late for the break. You can't. You know that saying you have. You can't play handball off a wet mattress, Steve. That's one of your common phrases, right? You know, It's very having a conversation with somebody in the midst of a Trump derangement syndrome attack, which I don't know, which is what he's in. The Smirnoff file. You recover it up. You know.
They're starting to gather their wits together. And
Wits.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
They've been in shock up to.
Oh yeah, we covered up the Smirnoff memorandum. We didn't want to go near that. Oh my goodness.
Poor babies.
All right, we'll be right back.
Making morning radio great again. It's the Steve Kane Show with Brian Craig.
Is this a short break? Did you move the spots? Did you move the spots? Is this a short break? No. Okay.
Service and installation. Here's your oldies forecast.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Michael Rose.
What?
Just have one commercial.
Okay.
That's one side playing Joe's not coming in. So everything was
Okay.
half of it was already played.
All right.
So it's good, even though there's a long segment, it's going to be short breaks.
Well, if you talk to Mike, if he Monday or Tuesday would be good.
Weather brought to you by All Year Cooling. Enjoy free AC replacement estimates along with same
Okay.
day service and installation. Visit allyearcooling.com to schedule your service today. And remember, the All Year family is here to serve your family all year long. And now, a True Oldies traffic check. Brought to you by the Palm Beach Kennel Club.
Traffic, a service of the Palm Beach Kennel Club. Catch football Sundays in the Paddock Restaurant with a delicious all-you-can-eat buffet and one table for just $25. And get this deal for free by calling 561-683-2222 extension 199. Watch all the games on over 140 HD TVs and big screens every football Sunday. The Paddock is also your best bet for Super Home TV action and show tickets make great gifts. Go to pbkennelclub.com.
The largest Kia year-end sales event ever is happening right now, only at one location, City Kia of Greater Orlando, just off the Florida Turnpike. Drive a little, save a lot. The largest year-end sell-a-thon ever is going on right now at City Kia. If you're looking for a new Toyota, Honda, Chevy, or any other stock, please don't pay more for less. Nobody beats a City Kia deal. Nobody. The largest discounts ever offered are available now. Save up to $17,000 on a new City Kia. Interest rates as low as 0%. New Kia Sportage from only $149 a month. New Kia K4s from only $189 a month. All offers on select terms and models with approved credit. Upside down on your trade, 10, 12, 15,000. City Kia to the rescue. The largest Kia year-end sales event ever is happening right now, only at one location. City Kia of Greater Orlando, just off the Florida Turnpike. Drive a little, save a lot. Hurry! It's City Kia's year-end sell-a-thon. Happy holiday. Visit us at citykia.com.
Craig, celebrate.
All right. Oh man, I'm starting to feel sorry. We've heard from a lot of liberals today, Steve, and they're at different levels of problems. Yeah. Yeah. Do you remember that guy years ago we had this therapist in who had the election, what did he call it? He was a therapist who put together a support group in Boca for Democrats who were depressed over losing the election. No, it was somebody before him, a guy that we knew that was a male therapist. He had a support group. I forgot what he called it. Election something. Do you remember what it was called? He had a term for the neuroses, for the condition. It wasn't Trump derangement. This was before Trump, many years ago. Election something disorder. I can't remember what it was. It was for people that are upset. You know, you and I, we've lost elections. It's not fun, but life goes on. You know.
An especially brutal one.
Oh, if we would have lost this one, it would have sucked. I mean, it would have sucked. It would have been bad.
Would have been nowhere. It's kind of like the Democrats are now in the position now.
You know, I've heard some people say that Kamala's husband, Doug Emhoff. By the way, beware of women who have different last names than their husbands. But Doug Emhoff, that's Kamala's husband. I've heard that he may be seeking a pardon. I wonder from what.
You have no idea that's going to be the final.
Do you think Kamala's husband had anything to do with this $1.5 billion campaign cash that's disappeared?
You got a healthy portion of it.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air.
Hello?
Yes.
Hey, good morning. Good morning from here.
Who's you? What's your name? Where you... Well, here we go.
Oh, I've been waiting for Renee. Listen, I got something to say to Renee, please. Renee, say his name. Donald, right?
Mm-hmm.
No more stealing from Whitey, Renee.
Okay, all right, okay. Oh, boy. Me from here? Mm-hmm. You know, I understand. It does not feel good when you lose an election. We've been there many times. Obama twice.
Brutal one. Although you know why they've rolled Kamala out, right?
Mm-mm.
She needs a job. She's out of money. She went through all the money she stole from the campaign.
She can go back to her old job.
What was that?
Sugar baby.
Oh, well, I'm sure between jobs, that's what
She's worth a lot as a sugar baby. She was vice president of the United States.
is about. It's about creating a respectable company so she can charge somebody to.
I'll tell you. I'll make a prediction for her. She's not going to run for anything because they're not going to give her any more campaign cash after with that $1.5 billion thing.
The stupidity of.
No, I'll tell you, and I'm serious about this. This is not a joke. There's two possibilities for a job with her. One, president of Howard University, where she went to school, right? Or president of her national sorority. She's all into that. The Divine Five, you know. And by the way, yeah.
Just trying to mount another
No.
quote-unquote campaign somewhere.
For what? For what?
Well, they're talking about governor.
No.
Well, it doesn't mean that she's got to do it. She just needs the title and the shingle. So
No.
Send out invoices.
No. She's no. They're not, she's not gonna be able to raise money again. After that $1.5 billion that they blew through and they can't account for. No.
Underestimating this.
She's no. The sorority or Howard University. That's what she'll end up doing. And you know, or she'll just drink all day forever and not do anything. I mean, what happened to Dan Quayle? Right? You know, vice presidents.
Better shape than this.
Quayle's more electable. Yeah. All right. Absolutely. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Mark from Jupiter.
Hey, Mark.
How goes it?
Oh, Steve, it's just baffling to me why these people that it's obvious they don't have a fully developed brain yet, like never Trump or Steve. This guy is just totally unhinged.
Totally.
And
let me ask you. You're calling from Jupiter. Joe Scarborough and Mika live in Jupiter. Have you seen them around town since the election?
You know, when they come up with the deal where they're going to show the political affiliation where people live.
Oh.
What?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You know, Joe and Mika, they pretend to live in Washington. The backdrop on their TV show is DC, but they're in Jupiter. No, but didn't you hear? Never Trump or Steve, the Smirnoff file. What was he talking about?
I think he drinks too much Smirnoff.
Yeah, that's too cheap. I get the top shelf stuff. Yeah.
They remind me of the honeybee and the fly. I think I've told you this before, Brian, but I don't think Steve's ever heard it. You remember about the honeybee and the fly?
No.
The honeybee should never, ever waste its time trying to explain
I like
to
Tito's.
a fly
Tito's, yeah.
why honey and flowers are better than manure. They're flies. They're eating I'm going to just get their address and take dog.
Well, all right, okay. I'm sorry I asked. Okay, we're going. People are drinking the eggnog, man. The last hour has just been very strange. But hey, it's Christmas, man. It's Christmas. Let's take our last break. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. It is time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with the Morning Gold and Precious Metals Report. William Youngerman, how are the metals looking today?
Metals continue to drift lower, but trading in again above the support levels and pretty much holding pretty solid above 2,600 for gold. Gold trading in a range yesterday of $2,629 to $2,659. Closing out the day down $6.10 at $2,646.30 the ounce. Silver lost a penny yesterday, closing out the day at $30.48, while platinum was up $1 at $937, and palladium was down $6 at $922. Overnight, we saw gold trade in a range of $2,640 to $2,652 the ounce, and right now we're at $2,643.50. That's down $2.70. Silver down 18 cents at $30.30 the ounce. Platinum down $12 at $925, and palladium also down $12 at $910 the ounce. So the metals continue to trade a little bit lower, but still giving us a buying opportunity below the.
I don't know. It sounds like a good Christmas special to me. Let me ask you about gold in particular, because we often talk about, you know, like the 1 ounce sovereign coins from the different mints, like the U.S. Mint, Australia, Canada, and you talk about the bars. What do you recommend, like those gold ounce commemorative coins? Because I know a lot of people talk about those. Do you recommend those or not? Well, you know, like sometimes people have like special things that have different. They're not from a mint, like a round. Are there like gold rounds?
Gold rounds, but there's a lot of commemorative coins that the different mints issue, and they're okay as long as you're not paying a big premium. I tell people to stay away from government-issued commemorative things that have big premiums to the gold value, and that's how they all start out. Being issued by the governments, they make these things to make them of, quote, lower mintages and entice collectors to buy thematic different types of coins. However, those premiums end up getting erased, and then you lose the premium that you paid for those things. So we recommend if you're going to buy those kind of items, you buy them in the secondary market. After they've been out for a while, the premiums have come off of them, and then they become good values. We have such things in stock, and you need to ask us for some of the more interesting commemorative items, and we can save you a lot of money, and you can have some beautiful coins and some low mintage items, but don't pay any big premium for it.
Hey, the reason I was asking is a little selfish because I'm doing some Christmas shopping. So I was thinking about some different things. So, but you think for the Christmas, when it comes to gold for the Christmas, what would you recommend? Would you recommend you would recommend the bars or from one of the sovereign mints? Is what you're saying?
Sovereign mints, and like I say, we do have some of the more interesting commemorative ones, but we have them at no.
The right prices. That's the right prices. You hear that guy? All right, listen. William Youngman opens up at 10 a.m. Give them a call, 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010, or stop in at 150 East Palmetto Park Road in Boca on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road. And you can find both his address and phone number online at williamyoungman.com. All right, William Youngman, we'll talk tomorrow. All right, and we are back. If you're on hold, hang in there. I want to, this time of year is that time of year you see people that you only see like once a year, right? And I've been, I don't know if you, I've been getting together with people. Sometimes I haven't seen in 2, 3, 4, 5 years. And there's a common thing, Steve. I look younger than all my friends and family that are my age. Some of them even younger. And I'm looking at, let me tell you, some people that what my wife has been telling me, because we've been seeing people we haven't seen in 2 years, 1 year, 5 years. It's like I'm de-aging. They're aging and I'm de-aging, or so. Of course, what I'm talking about is game day men's health. And the reason that I think I look younger this year than last year is because I feel younger than I did last year because I've gotten my testosterone restored. My testosterone is the level of a 20-year-old kid. My testosterone level is higher than Mike, our board ops. Okay? Think about that. I have the testosterone level of a 20-year-old kid. And when you've got your testosterone restored like that, you look younger, you feel younger, and you act younger too because you're more active and can do many more things. Because Steve, when my testosterone was so low, before I started my testosterone therapy at Game Day Men's Health, I looked older. Because I was like, I didn't feel good, and you could see it. And you stand taller and you feel good. Give them a call, okay? And, they test your testosterone right there in the office. Find out what it is. Oh, my goodness. 561-355-5341. 561-355-5341. That's 561-355-5341 for Game Day Men's Health. All right, you want to go back to the phone, Steve? Oh, that's me. I turned it off during the break. I turned it off because you were. I'll tell you on the air. I turned it off because you were whispering to somebody near you, but I turned it off. It was me, not Mike, because you were whispering and I could hear it. Okay, I don't know. And there's nothing wrong with whispering, but I didn't know what you were going to say. I figured if you were whispering, it wasn't for the air. So I turned it off. All right, let's go. You're on the air, behind the scenes. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, it's JJ from S.
Hey, JJ.
JJ. Hey, Steve, the Whisperer. You're like, I was thinking about the dog whisperer just a little while ago because thanks to Never Truth Steve, I just wanted to thank him for the misinformation on Hunter Biden. I guess he somehow got a degree in geology or geophysics or something. He's some kind of a...
Well, the Smirnoff memorandum on Monday that we're covering up, that didn't...
the absolute Andy Smirnoff memorandum.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, you got the CIA and the FBI.
Exactly.
I thought Hunter was like a porn star, human trafficking, drug trafficking criminal with a partner.
Exactly.
So, I did hear during the conversation, Steve and Brian, the name Mershon, and I'm not sure if this has been mentioned at all. I haven't heard it on the radio today or yesterday, and I think that's when it came out, was yesterday. Do you remember the name Travion Cutie, one of the 19 that was arrested down in Fulton County?
Yes.
Do you remember that name? Have you seen what she's come out with, what her lawyers and her investigators found out?
Mm-mm.
Okay, Armstrong Williams is the House Howard Stirk Holdings. He's a black guy, apparently pretty. He's got some. He's involved in it big time. Armstrong Williams, a guy by the name of Shermichael Singleton, who Trump fired. He was in the first Trump administration. Trump fired him, and apparently he was holding a grudge. But she has a whistleblower that was this guy's, Armstrong Williams, I think, executive secretary. And she has pictures and recordings of Bill Barr, former AG, Fannie Willis, Nathan Wade, Mershon, Don Juan Mershon, talking about getting Trump. And it was being played on this YouTube channel.
No.
Named Professor Nez.
Are you sure this is real? It seems like if something was so big that it would be all over the place.
Exactly, but here's the thing. I saw Cutie, the girl, is sitting right there, and they're playing the deposition or the questioning. They're playing it. So I don't know. I mean, to me...
Sounds like AI to me. Sounds like AI to me.
They show the girl. They show her face. She's talking about her lawyers. I'm telling you, it looks real to me.
I'm hearing from I'm hearing from somebody off the air who's telling me it's real. I don't know if anybody has that. DM it to me on the Twitter, on the X, and I'll take a look.
Crazy stuff. I mean, if Mershon, these guys, if this is true, now here's the thing.
Well, now slow down. But let's, in all serious, not that you're not being serious. Pam Bondi, I promise you, Pam Bondi is going to look into Judge Mershon and the daughter and all the money she raised. And I was talking earlier, Mershon had seats reserved for his daughter to bring donors in during the trial to see Trump on trial. So that's literally selling seats to the trial by the judge. This judge is so dirty. This judge is so dirty, and I find it impossible to believe that Kash Patel and Pam Bondi aren't going to bring him to justice. Just because someone's a judge doesn't mean that they're above the law. This guy's crooked.
Yeah, and the whistleblower, one of the things they said during this, I mean, Professor Nez, this is a YouTuber that I've looked at, and he's pretty reputable.
I'll look at it. I'll look it up.
He also said, though, the girl said that this whistleblower is connected, apparently she's from like a political family from Brazil. But she was his like executive secretary. She's been threatened. She left the country, went to Mexico. And then the FBI came to get her down there, and then the...
But wouldn't she wait to talk until Trump was back and she was safe?
Well, I think that, here's the thing. This girl, Cutie, and her investigators, they found her through Fulton County. It had nothing to do with the Nathan Wade. They just found this because of Fannie Willis. They were investigating Fannie Willis, which led them to this girl, this whistleblower, and then everything else, the Bill Barr.
See, one of the things, all of these people that Trump has brought in, they're Washington outsiders, okay? And the reason that they're being brought in is not just because they're with us and they're MAGA and they're good people. That's all true. But they don't have any incestuous relationships in Washington like all these people do. These are not their friends and family. And... yeah. I was telling you guys that I've seen this woman on television so many times. Let me tell you how deep this is. There's a woman, I've seen her on CNN and PBS, and her last name is Coolidge. Calvin Coolidge's granddaughter is on CNN, okay? That's how deep this incestuous Washington insider, he was president 100 years ago. But all the names are not always familiar to. When I see somebody new that's being, getting all kinds of respect, I Google them. Anytime I see them on TV, like, look, it's amazing. Like, anytime I see a retired military person telling us we need to help Ukraine, I always Google them, and almost every time they work for a military contractor, and it may just be a guy that makes widgets for transmissions on Jeeps. You know what I'm talking about? I mean, I know widgets aren't, but you know what I mean. But but it's always that way.
Company crowds like our boy Joey, half a bag of donuts. Companies all over the place. These NGOs have got shell companies. They're all.
And yesterday, President Trump did file a lawsuit against that newspaper and the pollster that we were talking about yesterday, and that is going to be huge.
think Biden's not that far behind when he suggests that Trump may go after some.
Steve, see, I think Biden's with Trump. I disagree. I think Joe and Joe both voted for Trump, and I think they're pissed off at these insiders for the coup against him. No. Didn't you see? No.
Kind of, I think he's really, I mean, when he remembers where the hell he is.
Yeah.
The one part of the day. But I mean, for the most part, I mean, I saw something on some CIA people talking about Biden that he's not going to make it a year.
After that humiliation, you think he doesn't have anger?
No. He was humiliated by his own. No. He's there. No. He's angry at his own people, the Washington crowd and the Democrats. Yeah.
There's no respect that the criminals have. What's that saying about criminals? They don't respect.
That's right. Well, listen, I appreciate the call. Now, I want to take a moment to talk about Jupiter Joe Thomas. And, Joe Thomas, this is amazing. He's been in the retirement planning industry for over 30 years. He's a 5-time qualifying member of the $1 Million Roundtable, which is achieved by fewer than 1% of all financial advisors in the world. So he's a top man in the business, and he's offering free phone consultations to our listeners. And by the way, no matter where you're located in America, you can take advantage of this no-charge phone consultation. If you're already retired or plan on retiring at any point in your future, whether it's Friday or a 20-year Friday from now, give Joe Thomas a call. Talk to him about annuities. He'll tell you how you can protect your money from stock market losses, how you can stop losing money in the markets and generate income when you're retired. Give him a call, 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999. And online, JupiterJoe.com. You can find his number there, JupiterJoe.com. All right, well, we're out of time for today. We'll be back tomorrow at 6 a.m. And our Trump derangement syndrome sufferers, we're here to help ease your pain. We feel your pain. We've been there before. We've lost too. All right, see you guys tomorrow morning. Steve Kane Show. Steve's been here. See you tomorrow.
WSFS 104.3.
All right, guys. Hey, listen, thanks for watching. If you are new, make sure you subscribe, all right? I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.